out here for the coin toss momentarily. Just a few minutes away from kickoff, and couldn't ask for better weather. Maybe a bit of a breeze coming through, but a bright, sunny afternoon. And boy, Dan, you know, we talk about the big little game, and you always kind of look at that over the years, but most of the time, not much to play for, and here, everything to play for today.
Well, back in the, I don't know if you want to call the golden era of the game, back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, it didn't matter what the records were. It was a community celebration of having this game on this side or the other side, and then it became a tradition to have it on Saturday afternoons. That started because of the violence between these two cities back in those days. It became more of a festival, so to speak, almost like a football festival between Antioch and Pittsburgh. And then it got moved back tonight. Now it's back in the day. So hopefully these two teams can continue on this path. But Antioch is 9-0. If they win today, they're probably going to be the number 3 seed, possibly the 4 seed in the NCS playoffs that start next week. And it might not start for them. They might get a bye. Pittsburgh's 8-1. Their only loss was to Monte Vista, another highly ranked and considered team who finished their season very high. Like they only have 1 loss. So this is a very interesting setup today. It's going to be a great game. There's a great atmosphere out here today. Probably the biggest game between these two teams in over 20 years.
Well, Luke Johnson, you're very privy to all the history that's gone on in this, dating back all the way to 1924. Tell us about some of those historical factoids that you have about the Big Little game.
Well, the rivalry really started heating up in the late 30s, and from 1939 to 1943, the game was suspended. It was canceled. There was no game because it was too violent. A lot of people think it was because of World War II, but World War II didn't start until 1940, so why would they stop at 1939? So they brought it back in 1944, and on a Tuesday night, 7,000 people were in attendance to see Pittsburgh defeat an undefeated Antioch team.
When there was how many people living in the area at the time? Not many.
Yeah, at the time, about a combined population between the two towns of 20,000.
Right. So now, proportionally speaking, for now to match that, we'd probably have to have, what, 50 or 60,000 people out here today?
Yeah, to match that percentage, yes. You know, we're getting up there. We're about to start the kickoff. I'd say about 7,500 people are here.
Place is packed. It is very festive. It's the 2015 Big Little game right here from Pirate Stadium, coming to you from National Prep Stars and Delta TV, and we'll be underway in just a moment.
Alberto Hernandez will be kicking off. Kick to receive for the Panthers, number 3, Ryan King, and number 7, Antoine Tanner.
All right, we are set for kickoff. Payne and Harris have dropped back deep. Alberto Hernandez getting set to kick off for Pittsburgh. Pirates in their home black, Antioch in their travel white. Hernandez set to kick. And the 2015 Big Little game is underway, and this is going to be a pooch kick that is going to be taken about the 22-yard line, down at about the 24, and that's where Antioch will set up shop first and 10. Their quarterback is Nuben Najee Harris and Kobe Beltran in the backfield. Payne, Freitas, and their leading receiver, tight end Faneha Foka. Combs, Sahota Brown, Kyle Jarvis, and Justin Kennard across that front line for the Panthers.
And Tony, the big thing, of course, today is can Pittsburgh stop Najee Harris? No one has, so we'll see. And even Vic Galley said, I don't know if we can stop him, but we're going to try to slow him down.
Harris the lone setback, tight formation. Now Najee will come out of the backfield and line up as a wide receiver, split to the near side. Snap. Najee, plenty of room to run. Crosses the 30, 35, picks up a first down, gets out to the 42-yard line. 18 yards on that scramble by Najee. That was wide open. And here is the Pittsburgh defense. Michael Pryor, Tariq Wright, Jason Harmon, Iffy Joyner across the front line. Ramirez, Vasquez, C.J. McClure are the linebackers. Jordan Parker, Armand McCraver, T.J. Robertson, A.J. Boyd in the secondary for Pittsburgh. Harris's first carry, left side, breaks a tackle, busts through another defender, gets out across the 45, close to the 46. But just about 3, maybe 4 yards of the carry will bring up second down.
I just wanted to point out the first play, Beltram ran a post pattern and cleared out the entire middle of the field on Najeeb's scramble. And that second play, that's about as close as you can get to stopping Najee Harris on a 6-yard gain. So you got to feel good about yourself that he didn't break through the second wave of tacklers.
Well, that's one thing the Panther opponents have not been able to stop is that big play from Najee all year. This time up the middle, now breaks it off to the right, stacked up with a host of black jerseys. Picks up maybe a couple, it'll bring up third down.
Yeah, 6 yards, that's about half his average. So if you can do that, you're doing pretty good.
Harris with just some absolutely incredible numbers coming into today's play. And Najee, 1,949 yards. You talk about the average, Luke, better than 12 and a half per touch for probably the best player in the BVAL this year, maybe the best player in the area. And Najee around the right end, breaks the tackle, rolls over a defender, and he is gone. Touchdown, Antioch. Harris, 52 yards and a touchdown, and just like that, Antioch is on the board. And Dan, we've seen him do that to everybody this year. I
just want to point out before we get into this touchdown, number 27, Armand McCraven is injured. And we're going to have to check this after this, right before this point after attempt. But that was the typical thing. Once he gets past the line of scrimmage, if he hits you, he knocked 2 Pittsburgh guys back 5 yards. They could have made that tackle and stopped Antioch's momentum on that 4th down. He breaks 2 tackles, goes all the way for a touchdown. Najee Harris, in a nutshell, what we've seen over the past 2 years.
Well, this drive started at the 24, so a 76-yard drive culminating in a 52-yard touchdown run by Harris, and as Dan said, really bowled over a couple of defenders, and we've got a Pittsburgh Pirate injured right now near midfield, but it's just something all the BVL teams have seen last year, they've seen all of this year, and it looks like they're going to see it all again next year as well.
And none of them are feeling particularly great about that, but they'll have to deal with it. A couple of guys to mention in that Pittsburgh defense. You mentioned Jordan, the number 2, who's their defensive back, Jordan Parker, and also Charlie Ramirez, their linebacker, whose father is the defensive coordinator. Those guys, well, we know Parker's going to Oklahoma. Ramirez should be getting some looks as well, but 2 key members of their defense, and they're going to be integral in trying to stop Harris today, but it's going to have to be a full team effort, all 11 guys.
I had a chance to talk to Vic Galley earlier in the week, and
looks like the injured
he said that
McRaven.
he felt that Najee was certainly going to get his yards, but that they would like to at least contain him, I guess is the word I'm using. But that was certainly what he was talking about, that he knew that Harris wasn't going to be able to be completely shut down. But after you see that big gain, now you're starting to wonder, is he going to be able to put up one of those great games that he's put up against everybody else?
Well, if you look at, there's a couple of different runs you get from him. That run was the let me get about a 5-yard head of steam and bowl you over run. And then, of course, there's if I get out in front of you, I'm going to run away from you run. And we'll probably see that one as well.
All right, now Antioch getting set up for the 2-point conversion now and trying to extend the lead to 8. Direct snap to Harris in that Wildcat formation over the right side. Nobody home, and he is into the end zone for the 2-point conversion. It is now 8-0. Antioch, 10:47 to go here in the opening quarter.
And they couldn't have drawn that drive up any better.
You know, the biggest concern for Pittsburgh heading into this game is who can tackle Najee Harris. You look at their linebackers, they're pretty small. 2 of their 3 starters are under 200 pounds. So once he gets past the line of scrimmage, who's going to be able to take him down?
And even Coach Galley, when I talk to him, their biggest weakness is their defensive line. He feels good about his linebackers. He feels good about his cornerbacks. But if they can't get him at the line of scrimmage, he gets into the defensive backfield. I don't know if there are pro teams that couldn't bring this guy down. I mean, that's how powerful he is.
Yeah, Harris, 225 pounds, all muscle. His ankles are about the size of most men's thighs.
And the funny thing is, he came back bigger and stronger this year as opposed to last year. And the scary thing, he could be even bigger and stronger next year.
He's much faster than he was last year, too.
Yeah.
That speed training he did taking off the basketball season.
Right. All right, here's the kickoff, and they're going to have a whistle to blow this one down.
Offside, penalty against Antioch.
McClure and McCraven back deep for the Pittsburgh Pirates, and Carthong's kick, they're going to wave this one off, offside. The indication against Antioch, so they'll back them up 5 yards.
And this is one thing, Tony, that has troubled Antioch all year is penalties. Especially, this is usually a simple one to stay onside on your kickoffs, but they've had a lot of goofy penalties over the year. In some games, penalties, if they've been playing a superior opponent, might have cost them. They've been able to kind of overcome everything so far this year because of the talent. But as a lot of people will point out to you, let's wait and see what happens once they play Pittsburgh.
Here's Torres's kick, actually. It's Abe Torres kicking off. This one dropped to the 10-yard line, crossed the 15, and crossed the 20, still on his feet, out across near the 30-yard line. So after a bit of a muff, it's close to a 20-yard pickup on the return, and that's where Pittsburgh will set up shop. And here is that Pirate offense. Christian Young is the quarterback, Montez Thompson the running back, Parker Thomas Grisby, A.J. Boyd are the wide receivers, Venona Gola and Vargas, Franks, Barota, and Devon Taylor across that front line for Pittsburgh. Pirates trailing 8-0, 10:36 to go here in the first from National Sport, from Prep Stars and Delta TV. And this one will be pushed across the 35 and about 3 yards short of a first down. And that was Montez Thompson on his first carry. And here is the Antioch defense. Joey Gray, Sir Forbes, Kyle Brown, who just made that tackle, Beltran, Hafoka, Perry are the linebackers, Aguiar, Boyd, Najee Harris, Tanner, and Payne. And here's a first down run, and here's Thompson doing what he does best, running over some players as well, out across the 50 into Antioch territory. First down, Pittsburgh.
This is the first year that Galley hasn't ran the offense since he's been in charge, and this year they've been really well balanced. They have a running back Thompson over 1,000 yards so far, and their quarterback Christian Young over 2,000 yards passing so far.
Yeah, for Pittsburgh, 233 yards rushing, and Thompson going to be hit and dropped at the line of scrimmage. And a good looking tackle. That was Payne that came up and made the stop. But 233 yards passing, 244 yards rushing. You talked about balance, Luke. There it is.
Tony, Jimmy Shipe, who's a longtime coach here at Pittsburgh, his son is now the offensive coordinator calling the plays for Coach Galley.
Handoff, cut back up the middle. And flag flies here. That was Isaiah Turner, the other running back here, getting the ball. But flag dropped in the offensive backfield. The initial indication is holding against Pittsburgh, and they'll back up the Pirates.
By the way, we have the opportunity. Steve Corrigan is our referee today. Don Hubbard, Ron Krupa, Mark Piccolotti, and John Schmidt, the rest of the crew here for what is probably the biggest game to hit this area in a long time, Tony. Maybe since the last time Pittsburgh could really compete with De La Salle. We got to go back probably 10 years. They had a crowd this big here on a Saturday night for a playoff game when Pittsburgh actually was seated above De La Salle. I know that sounds hard to believe, but that actually happened one year.
Sounds like ancient history. Under some pressure, here's a throw to middle screen, and it looks like Antioch has that picked out pretty well. Namonte Grisby, number 7, able to make that catch, but not a whole lot of yardage. He'll pick up a couple, and it'll bring up third down and long, and the Pirates will have to get to about the 46-yard line of Antioch for a first down.
You're seeing an example of that no-huddle spread offense right here. This will take a big play to get a first down.
First year they've gone to that. Vic, usually with that power running game, a lot of play action, stuff like that. Under pressure, looking, Young fires way over the head of the intended receiver. Looking for A.J. Boyd out in the flat. That is incomplete, and it looks like it would be punt time here for Pittsburgh, and it is.
Yeah, Pittsburgh tends to have a little bit more of a traditional special teams look with punting and kicking, whereas Antioch, you never know what they're going to do.
You know, on that previous play, I was looking at that matchup. Looks like they're putting
Ryan
Payne man-to-man against Boyd all game long. Boyd, their leading receiver on the team.
That should be an interesting matchup to watch as we move along. Nick Perry just came off the injured list, and he is shaken up here on that last play. And boy, Nick's had a good year other than the injuries. Missed a couple of games due to injury, but certainly a fine member of that very good linebacking core for Antioch.
Well, what we saw last week with Perry out was Payne took over as the primary runner once Najee had his customary 300 yards and 6 touchdowns. And I don't know if it's going to be that quick today, but Perry, if he's hurt again, you're going to have to look at either Payne or Beltram or someone else picking up the slack. But I have a feeling Najee is going to play most of the game today. I don't think this is going to be I'd be shocked if he's out in the second half early like he has been the past couple weeks.
Here's Javier Hernandez dropping back to punt. 4th down and long here for the Pirates. So Antioch able to get a stop here on their first defensive series.
Payne back to return. He has a touchdown already this year at punting returning. He's going to let this one go.
Not going to get a chance here. This one bounces to the 20. Takes a Pirate bounce down to the 15. Payne just a spectator that time. 1st down and 10 upcoming here for Antioch from their own 15-yard line. 8:23 to go opening quarter. 8-0 in favor of the Panthers.
Tony, this is interesting because we talked about it last week when we did the Deer Valley game. But Antioch, it really hasn't mattered where they start from. So one of these days, it is going to matter. Field position will become an important factor for them. But on this drive, we'll have to wait and see. This is one of those drives starting in the shadow of their goalpost down around the 15-yard line that we'll see what Antioch's made of on offense here on their second possession.
All right, Newman Najee in that traditional set. Now they're going to run wide to the far side, breaks a tackle, gets out across the 15, out across the 20, out across the 25, and that's Antoine Turner, number 7, taking that one on the end around. And Najee able to give him that handoff, and the defense kind of went one way, Tanner went the other way, and it's a good-looking play here for the Antioch offense.
Yeah, it looked like only one Pittsburgh guy caught that. Tanner had the ball in the backfield. He was able to break that and spurt for about 15 yards.
A little bit of trickery coming from Coach John Lucido and his staff. And that gets him out across the 25-yard line, so close to an 11-yard gain on that play. Right up the middle goes Harris, and he gets out to the 35-yard line, leaving just a yard short of a 1st down, so 9 yards for Najee. And it looks like same old guys as far as Harris and the running game is concerned for Antioch.
Well, the thing, and a lot of people mentioned this week as I talk about this game, is the adversity. Antioch's yet to face any adversity, and even today so far, they've yet to face any adversity. So as long as things keep rolling along the train, they look good.
Fake, Najee throws over the middle. He's got a man complete out across the 50-yard line. Kobe Beltran, the fine linebacker, making the catch, and that will be a 1st down. Out across the 50 into Pirate territory. 1st down, Panthers.
Kobe Beltran, an all-league player on offense and defense last year, looking to be voted to those accolades again this year.
Certainly had a fine year, especially on defense, coming in now. 2nd on the team in sacks, Luke, with 6. Harris tries up the middle this time, and a host of defenders there. Just a couple of yards for Najee on this play, and it will be 2nd down and 8.
Yeah, Beltram actually 3rd in the whole league in sacks, 2nd on the team to Joey Gray.
Joey Gray coming in with 7.5.
I was just going to say, the important player on that play was the guy hanging on to Harris's legs at the bottom of the pile because he didn't get much. It was Jose Vasquez, by the way.
I would hate to be the guy to have to do that.
Newman Najee looking up to the sideline and over in Antioch for instructions. Bumps into Harris. Harris has the ball. Going to pick up some yards anyways. He gets away from a tackler. And that is going to be inside the 45, down to about the 43. It'll leave him about 3, maybe 4 yards short of a 1st down.
How many times have you done that? I mean, how many times have you practiced that play in the past 2 years? That's kind of an unusual one in the 10th game to have a kind of a broken play, but it actually turned out positive for Antioch.
3rd down, call it about 5 for the Panthers. Here's Najee in the shotgun with that offset eye. Gives to Harris. Tries the left side. Spins away from a tackler. He is going to be just short of a 1st down as he gets to the 40. About 3-yard gain on the play. but it will bring up 4th down and 2. Too far for a field goal, too close for a punt. I'd say they go for it here.
Yeah, too far for a punt for them would be about 65 yards away from the end zone.
Well, when you got a guy that averages over 12
You're
yards
gonna give him
carry,
the football.
yeah, you're gonna throw the ball to him, and I don't think Antioch really doesn't like to punt even if they're on their 20-yard line. So,
all right, Najee barking out the signals. Hands to Harris, tries the right side, picks up the first down, leans out over to the 35-yard line. So he's got about 5 yards on the play, and that will move the sticks.
Yeah, he looked really patient right there. Didn't look like he was in a hurry to, hit the hole. Waited for something to open up. Was able to skip his way past the first down marker.
I think the one thing this guy's already developed is professional vision. A lot of high school guys just hit the hole and hope to bounce off. He not only waits for the hole to open, not only that, even when he gets hit, he's got that ability to reach forward with the ball because he's so big. So it's very hard to stop this offense.
From the Pirate 35. Handoff this time goes to Omari Harris. And he picks up, not back to the line of scrimmage. He's going to lose a yard on the play. And it'll bring up 2nd down at 9. C.J. McClure and Joyner there on the tackle.
Yeah, Amari, no relation to Najee. The two Harrises. Amari coming from De La Salle last year is a really impressive sophomore.
Somebody came from De La Salle?
Yeah.
Kind of usually the other way around.
Yeah.
2nd down and 11. Najee after the fake. Rolls to his right. Now he's going to run, hit, and stop as he picks up just a yard. Good-looking play defensively, and one of the guys getting up off that tackle for the Pirates, big number 77, Tariq Wright, the junior.
Well, they spread that out real nice, the defense. The linebackers kind of kept him in containment. Both of the intended receivers were covered. Parker had the far receiver, another guy shorter, and he didn't have that big gap that he had on the first run, so it's going to bring up 3rd and long. And this is the first time I think we've had Antioch this whole season where they've had a little bit of trouble, and they've had to extend drives and get deep into the counts, the 3rds and the 4th downs.
3rd down and long, but like it is for Antioch, this is going to be 2-down territory, I'm sure. Here comes Harris out of the backfield, split wide to the near side. Najee back. Newman stands, throws, got a man deep down the field, in and out of the hands of the intended receiver. And that looked like number 3, Ryan Payne. No, it was number 13. That was Jameer Wilson, who had his man beat on the go route but couldn't hold on. Hit him right in the hands.
Najee does that play normally when they're in the red zone. Comes out wide. I asked Jordan Parker yesterday, is he going to be the guy to guard him? And he said, most definitely. And we know what happened the last time Oklahoma played Alabama.
No, I don't.
You don't? Oklahoma won.
Oh, you got the Oklahoma player in the I get the connection. Right.
Yeah.
One's going to Oklahoma, one's going to Alabama. There you go. Okay, 4th down. 4th down and 9. Harris going to split out here to the near side. Looking for him is Najee. Now he's going to run. Tries to pick up the first down. Hit and drop as he gets inside the 30, but not enough for a first down. He'll be 3 yards short. And on downs, the Panthers turn over the football. So the Pirate defense gets a stop here with 3:33 to go. And boy, I know it's early in the game, but that's got to make Coach Galley and his staff feel a whole lot better. They got him stopped here on that drive.
It shifts the momentum a little bit to them now, but now they have to go 70 yards and score, and Antioch's defense was up to the task the first time. I thought Pittsburgh's defense did a better job. They covered all the receivers on those last 2 plays. There was nowhere for Najee to throw the ball.
Handoff. Thompson, plenty of room off the right side, breaks the tackle, dragged down from behind as he gets cross midfield into Antioch territory. Big play for Thompson, and the stop made by number 25, Cameron Nathan.
First down, they put the ball at the Antioch 49-yard line.
So to the Antioch 49, as Montez Thompson having himself a nice game here so far. Good run that time. 1st and 10. And right up the middle again for another nice play. Isaiah Turner gets to about the 41-yard line of Antioch, and that'll be close to a first down. 6 yards of the carry. We'll call it 2nd down and 4.
The gain of 7, 2nd down 3. Ball is at the 42.
Here's Christian Young in that shotgun. 4 wide receiver spread. Turner's going to get it. bounces off some tacklers, gets out across the 40, inside the 40, down to 38. Beltran there to make the tackle, but that will be a first down.
Yeah. Interesting thing on this drive, Pittsburgh has been using 4 wide receivers on every play. Antioch, to match that, they've been putting 4 corners against them with only 1 safety.
Ball is at the 38.
Well, the matchup so far looks like it's favoring Pittsburgh, at least on the last couple of runs. There's that 4 wide receiver spread again. Thompson going to get the ball, breaks a tackle in the backfield, breaks another tackle, and then finally can't get away. And finally making that tackle is going to be number 21, Jacob Rodriguez. A gain of about 4 yards on the play, maybe 5 yards on the play.
Well, the
Call it second down at 5.
Offensive line for Pittsburgh is really matching up well on this drive with Antioch's defensive line. You've noted that the number of the tackles even on that play made by a corner, the others by the linebackers are getting a little bit farther down inside that. That was interesting.
Antioch showing
moved,
blitz.
yeah.
They moved, but apparently did not jump offside. Young back, under pressure, throws. He's got his man up to the 30-yard line, and then still surging forward and getting there for the first down is Grisby. So DeMonte Grisby did not have the first down initially with the catch. With that second effort, however, he picks up the first down, and the Pirates move the chain.
And he beat a blitz there on the outside, straight blitz.
So for
28.
Thompson, tries the middle, breaks off a tackle, stays on his feet, gets inside the 20. Montez Thompson all the way down to the 11-yard line. Oh, what a tough run that was. About 15 yards or more for Montez that time.
Hey, Montez refusing to go down there. Antioch, they thought they had him. Some players stopped, and he was able to get 10 more yards.
Yeah, Montez averaging 9.2 a carry, 1,198 yards coming into the ball game, so he's had a fine season in his own right. And this time Antioch is across the line of scrimmage, and that'll cost them 5 yards.
Offside penalty against the Panthers.
And that's the kind of penalties that Antioch was committing earlier in the year, Tony, when it didn't really matter. But a number of times in early games, offsides without even the count starting hardly. So they're going to have to watch that.
First down and 5. They can get a first down at about the 1-yard line. Thompson up the middle. Surging forward. Thompson to the goal line. Touchdown, Pittsburgh.
Touchdown, Pittsburgh.
So the Pirates, after getting the stop on downs on the other side of the field, they take it the length of the gridiron, and now a 2-point conversion away from tying this game, but it looks like they're going to go for 1.
Yeah, I was interested to see how Pittsburgh was going to counter Antioch's constant 2-point conversion attack.
And apparently they're not. Hernandez out of the spot from Young. Snap, hold, kick is good. And with 1:22 to go, it's 8-7 in favor of the Panthers.
Well, Tony, it's this is about what you came to expect from this. Antioch seeing a team that has a little bit better offense than anything that we've seen them play against this year. You got a quarterback that's thrown for 2,000 yards, and Thompson proved on that drive he is not easy to bring down.
No,
He might be another guy that needs a couple of tacklers to bring him down, and Antioch's going to have to improve that, and the little penalties that just tend to kill drives like that, keep them going, extend them for the other teams from the defensive side.
You know, Montez, we talked about the great year, Dan. 14 touchdowns, 100 plus. 7 times, Dan, he's gone over 100 yards in a game, and he's just a junior himself.
And number 23, Isaiah Dunn. Kicking off for the Pirates. Alberto Hernandez.
So here's Hernandez to kick off for Pittsburgh. And he launches this one a little bit better. It will not make the end zone, however. Taken at the 6, it's Payne. Payne out across the 25, out across the 30-yard line, and it looks like he gets to the 31-yard line. So a nice return for Payne, and Antioch will set up shop 1st and 10.
Xavier Jackson also in a stop.
I don't know.
Ball is at the 31-yard line. First down, 10 yards to go for the Panthers.
They pushed him in. Pittsburgh principal. You're in my way, dude.
All right, first down and 10 for the Panthers. 1:14 to go in an exciting opening quarter. of the 2015 Big Little game right here on National Prep Stars and Delta TV. And now movement on the right side of the Antioch line, and it will be illegal procedure against the Panthers. And Danny, we're just talking about penalties, and they start this drive with a penalty. It'll make it first down at 15.
Yeah, like we said, this might be the first time this year Antioch's had a little lump in their throat. Playing on the road in front of this huge crowd, the place is going nuts, and that's the third penalty for a movement or procedure on the Panthers.
Fake, Payne had it, that's going to be picked off. Volleyballed into the air and caught out of the air by number 23, Charles Ramirez. He's got the ball for Pittsburgh. They've got it near the 10-yard line. First down and 10 for the Pirates.
What a game. Anything can happen in a rivalry game.
Well, and in that situation right there, how many times have we seen that play this year? And that's the first time we've seen the ball bounce out his hands. And who's there? A great linebacker in Ramirez to make the interception.
Boy, Payne had it in his hand, couldn't hold on. It volleyballed into the air. And Ramirez able to get the interception. Pirates in business here. First down just outside the 10. Here's Thompson, caught in the backfield, surges out across the 10. Gets to about the 8. Tackle made by number 42, Fene Hafoka.
2-yard gain, second down, 8. Ball is at the 9.
Second down. After about a yard or so gain. Thrown to the end zone. Touchdown! Deshaun Thomas from 9 yards away, and the Pirates have claimed their first lead of the ball game.
And now, Tony, all the momentum has shifted to Pittsburgh, especially after that big turnover. 2 plays right down the field, little slant pattern that time to Thomas. Nice pass by Young, wide open. And now Antioch, I mean, I don't know how many times they've been behind this year, but it hasn't been many, are trailing.
Fernandez with a point after. Out of the spot of the Young. Snap, hold, kick is up, kick is good. And the Pirates out to a 14-8 lead half a minute to go here in the opening quarter. We're being carried live on local cable courtesy of Delta TV, bringing community events like this to East Contra Costa County. Delta TV for you and by you. Delta TV is supported by the city of Pittsburgh and Antioch in association with Contra Costa County.
Yeah, Tony, it was 25 years ago today that Clay Callum and I called the first ever Big Little game on television live with Ron Carter, who's working with us today as the producer for Comcast or Viacom or one of those companies. I think it was Viacom back in those days. That was 25 years ago. That was a great game. That game had a number of future college stars in it. Reagan Upshaw played in that game. Mark Butterfield for Antioch in that game. So, and I saw a lot of guys here today. I'll talk about it over the next couple breaks. We don't have a lot of time to talk between plays because both teams run no huddle. So,
Hernandez to kick off. Bit of a line drive. This one gonna hit and stay inbounds. Picked up by Payne at the 3, out across the 5, out across the 10. Payne's got some room around the right side. 20, 25, 30, 35, out across the 40 to about the 41-yard line for Ryan Payne. 38 yards on that play. And we have an injured Panther down at about the 30-yard line here.
That's Tyler Hunsucker, the junior. He's injured on that kickoff return after Payne made a great play, reversed his field, went all the way back after that little it was I wouldn't say a pooch kick, but it ended up kind of looking like one. He had to go all the way back inside his 10 to pick it up and ran all the way down the right sideline out to the 41-yard line. So Antioch now with some decent field position trying to get back into this ball game.
So Antioch making the nice play there on special teams, out across the 40 to the 41-yard line. Tyler Hunsucker is the player down for Antioch, so they'll tend to him. And we've got a bit of break in the action, just 18.9 to go. Opening quarter here from Pirate Stadium.
Last last night in the
So
Bay
for
Valley
Antioch,
Athletic League,
Dan,
the Heritage Patriots defeated
talk about the
Deer
big numbers
Valley
that they've put
by
up
a
this
score
year.
of
6 times they
35-7.
scored over 50 points.
Also,
Twice they've been
Freedom
over
over
60.
Liberty,
And in one other game, the
51-8.
Milpitas game that we did, they scored 47. And you look at some of the common opponents, they've actually matched up pretty well against Pittsburgh in that area.
The one that stands out, though, is the 53-point victory over Deer Valley last week. And Pitt only beat them by 3. And, of course, that game was marred by a number of other controversies that we no longer want to talk about here on kind of
Also,
muck up the airwaves.
You know, Pittsburgh very close in their game, Dan, against Freedom. They did win 33-29, but you look at what Antioch 32-17 did a little bit better. But you know, sometimes when you match up the two teams, none of those things seem to matter a lot.
Sometimes it doesn't matter. You don't know what the score was prior. I know Pitt was up big against Deer Valley. They might have put in the second string, and Deer Valley might have scored a couple of touchdowns. It's all interesting. It's all conjecture. As we mentioned earlier this week, everyone knows this is the big little game. You throw the records out, and in this game here, this is Pittsburgh's no slouch. They're actually rated above Antioch in some polls due to the fact that they played a stronger schedule.
Right.
Ball is at the Antioch 41.
All right, Panthers from their own 41-yard line. Najee Harris up the middle, and Najee stopped for no gain. He might even have lost a half a yard. The Pittsburgh defense rising up. They got the stop on downs. They got the interception off the tip ball. And now to start this drive, they push Najee back for a loss of a yard, and that will end the first quarter of play. At the end of one quarter in the 2015 Big Little game, it's the Pirates 14 and the Panthers 8.
That's the end of the first quarter. Ball, second down, 11.
A fresh 12 minutes on the second quarter clock. Second down and 11 for Antioch from their own 40-yard line. Harris trying to go left, caught in the backfield and dropped it. He'll lose a yard again. A host of defenders over there on that side. He's going to lose about a yard. It'll bring up third down and call it 12. Back-to-back nice plays here for that Pittsburgh defense.
They're knocking down at the line of scrimmage, which is what you got to do. That first play on this drive, of course, that's what you really got to do is put about 9 bodies on him. They're going to have to get him outside a little bit more. I'd say Antioch might want to look at running a sweep or something here on third down.
Well, that Pittsburgh defensive line, Dan, made up completely of underclassmen. And you talked about that might have been one of the weaknesses of this team so far in this ball game, playing pretty well, except for that big 52-yard gain. Gonna fake it this time. Najee has got a man. Payne is out there trying to make the over-the-head catch, and he can't do it. A little bit out of his reach. And on the play, Jordan Parker was there defensively, and Jordan, one of the best covered people in the country right now, but he was actually beaten on that play.
Ball is still at the Antioch 40.
That turned out to be a very difficult type of catch that Payne would have had to make, Dan. When that ball is coming straight over your head and you have to make sort of the Willie Mays catch,
Well,
very difficult to make. You want to over one shoulder or the other.
That wasn't one of his better throws. Payne made the angle and had Parker beat, which is not an easy thing to do in the start, from the beginning. But now Antioch there's some movement again. Yeah, Antioch false start. I mean, they're
boy, Antioch had 3 guys running downfield on the snap. I'm pretty sure that's illegal.
Is it?
I think it is.
Well, okay.
I thought you could only have 2 before the the ball was actually kicked.
I think Antioch's kind of feeling that lump in their throat, Tony. I think that this is that one game. We all talked about it. They hadn't played a game like this yet. They hadn't played a team this good yet.
Well, here's Perry to kick. Boots this one. Calling for a fair catch and making the fair catch at the 32-yard line is number 15, A.J. Boyd. And that's where the Pirates will set up for their next possession. After that first possession, it was 8-0 in favor of Antioch. And since then, gentlemen, it's been all Pittsburgh.
Antioch needs to get something going here on defense. They haven't really been able to stop Pittsburgh other than the end of that first drive. And Pittsburgh's had decent field position, and they have pretty good field position now.
First down and 10 for the Pirates from their own 31-yard line. Hand coming around to the near side, getting out across the 40 and skirting the sideline is Isaiah Turner, and he picks up a nice gain. That's going to be a first down as they move the sticks. Boy, Turner just exploded out here toward the near side. Picks up better than 10 yards and a first down here for Pittsburgh.
Turner's name wasn't mentioned much in any of the pregame press. And the play on that, the great play there was a play that wasn't made. Boyd was following him and could have made a block in the back, and he laid off and let Turner get outside for the first down.
12 yards for Turner. Now he takes a stutter step and goes up the middle. Breaks a tackle at the 50, 30, 20. Turner racing to the 10, pushed out of bounds at the 5-yard line. Isaiah Turner. 52 yards on that breakaway. Dunn came up to push him out of bounds, but the Pirates are really revving it up right now and looking to take a 2-score lead.
As I mentioned, Tony, I don't think anyone had Turner on the radar. It was Thompson, it was Parker, and of course it was Young, and now here comes Turner. Great speed coming out of the backfield. This kid's he's making a difference.
Here's Thompson, breaks a tackle, sprinting out wide, gets into the end zone, touchdown! Montez Thompson from 4 yards away, and the Pirates score their third touchdown of the first half. Well, you talked about Turner going under the radar, Dan. 9 touchdowns on the season, and he's been averaging 71 yards per game, and 3 times he's gone over 100 yards rushing.
Well, what you got with those two guys is Mr. Inside and Mr. Outside. Although that last run from Turner came inside, but that's a guy with great breakaway speed. Thompson is the little bowling ball that runs over people. Spread that last play out for the TD. Antioch's going to have to do something really quick here, Tony, or they're going to get blown out.
Hernandez bangs through the extra point, and it's 21-8. 10:29 to go here in the first half.
Tony, while we have an opportunity, I just want to mention some of the Pittsburgh coaches doing a great job today. Of course, Vic Galley, we mentioned, set the record for wins here at Pittsburgh earlier this year. And there's been some great coaches here. I saw Coach Pardee down on the sidelines. And Coach Cockrum, who coached here now at LMC, he's been around as well. Charlie Ramirez, his son, is playing today. He's the defensive coordinator. Mark Francisco, Eddie Loretto, a former kicker, is in charge of the kickers. Bobby Bellacci, Sam Garcia, Mike Orlando, who played here at Pittsburgh, and his brother Paul. Mrs. Orlando used to greet us at the gate. You remember Mrs. Orlando over at the gate? Asuma Falavia, that's a good one for you. Aaron Turner, and I got to wonder if Aaron Turner and Isaiah aren't related somewhere. Aaron Turner, of course, a great wide receiver, played at UOP when they still had a football program. Steve Sibbett, Sergio Vargas, Jimmy Shipe, and Alan Job. So there's about a coach for every 2 players here, Pittsburgh side.
It's called job creation.
Yes.
All right, Hernandez to kick off a 21-8 lead for the Pirates. This one a low line drive. It's going to bounce and be picked up at about the 12-yard line. Out across the 25, out across the 30, and just about near the 35-yard line goes Antoine Tanner, number 7. So pretty good field position for Antioch, but certainly a situation where the Panthers really need to get something going.
First and 10 for Antioch.
Down 2 touchdowns, that's not an impossible comeback by no means, Tony, but Antioch just really, since the first drive looked like the typical Antioch drive that we've seen all year with a big run by Harris. Since then, Harris has been bottled up.
Completely bottled up. And the Panther defense got that stop, and they forced a Pittsburgh punt on Pittsburgh's opening drive, Dan. But since then, 3 possessions, 3 touchdowns for the Pirates, 1 coming off an interception. All right, here's Najee. Antioch offense trying to get something going. Here's Harris trying to break away, unable to do so. Corralled at the line of scrimmage. No gain for Najee. And that's like the last 3 carries, Dan, where he has not picked up a yard. In fact, he's lost a couple of yards.
Well, that time they strung it out along the line of scrimmage, and he got hammered. And that's the thing. You don't want to – he hasn't really been hit too hard this year so far. He's starting to get hit a little bit in this game. So Antioch needs to find something. They tried that time a little mini sweep, didn't work. Now they're looking back and probably look up the middle this time.
And caught in the backfield is Harris. He's going to lose several yards. About 5-yard loss on the play. Pushed all the way back to the 30-yard line. And Najee just cannot get loose right now. Harmon, one of the first guys to get there, but a host of black jerseys on that tackle. And right now, the Pittsburgh defense really looking like one of the best defenses around.
Well, they looked like they knew that play was coming. They were in the backfield so quick that time.
And here comes the Jaws theme on 3rd down and 15 for Antioch, treading into some dangerous waters here. And Pittsburgh calls timeout. Well, some BVAL memories. I talked to Vic Galley earlier in the week, and he mentioned the 2002 BVAL title game. That was the last time these teams met for a title game here in the Big Little game at Antioch. Pirates down 21-7 near the first half. They put together a 2-minute drive, scored on that one, 21-14 at the half. They end up winning 31-21, and Vic actually carried off by his players. He said he's got a picture in his office when he's holding Vic Jr., then about 3 years old, and now, of course, Vic Jr. playing on the JV team today.
Yeah, it's been a while. Note on Harris, 3 carries for 65 yards the first 3. 9 carries, 16 yards ever since. So Pittsburgh has really come to play here after that first drive. Coach Galley must have had a nice talk to his defense, and you can see right now what they're doing amazingly well. Not only stringing out the plays, Tony, just making sure he doesn't get out into the open, and that's the main thing.
3rd down and 15. They've got to get to their own 45-yard line. Here's Najee under pressure, fires in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, Antoine Turner. That would have been far short of a first down anyway. Tanner can't make the catch, but it really doesn't matter that much. And Antioch's going to have to punt.
Yeah, and Antioch hasn't been able to that momentum wave has just shifted over to Pittsburgh, and they haven't been able to do anything about it.
Back-to-back 3 and outs for Antioch.
What's that?
Back-to-back 3 and outs.
Yes.
And before that, they had an interception on before they can get a first down. So
yeah,
a
really.
2 and out, and then 2 3 and out.
You don't hear that too much. So here's Perry to punt. Launches this one. Fair catch called for. Fair catch made at about the 31. And that's A.J. Boyd again.
Ball spotted at the 30-yard
They'll take over at about just across the 30-yard line, and Pittsburgh has it. 8:57 to go. They lead it 21-8. 8:57 here in the first half. So, of course, Vic Galley breaking the school record for victories, passing Pat Bryant for the all-time victory list here in Pittsburgh history. And 2 things you got to have: longevity, and you got to be good. Thompson up the middle, nearly had the ball stripped. It looked like he did have the ball stripped. Do the referees agree? Antioch thinks they have the football, and the officials, it really looked like a good strip that time. And the officials, and now we're calling an official's timeout to sort this one out. But
I don't think the guy that should have made that call saw it, to tell you the truth. Boy, the guy that was on this sideline ran up like he didn't even know the Antioch. Oh, so they gave it to him. That's a big turnover right there. I think someone else saw that, Tony. I was more concerned kind of with trying to figure out what the refs were doing on that call. The guy, the side judge came in like he didn't see it. Someone must have came from the other side who saw it clearly and overturned it.
So Antioch comes up with a huge defensive play as they take the ball away from Thompson. They're going to take over here at the 37-yard line. And you talk about something, exactly what you need, guys. A turnover right there. They got it, and now they're in good position here to cut this back to a two-possession game, to a one-possession game, excuse me.
You know, I saw Antioch in a similar situation in the second game of the season against Milpitas.
Najee under pressure, and he will be dropped in the backfield, and that is Iffy Joyner, number 40, and that is going to be a big loss. After the fake, Dan, he rolled to his left, and Joyner was all over him.
And that's a hard play for a high school quarterback to make. Not only you're rolling to his opposite side to throw, there was no one there. They ran a deep pattern down the left sideline, and Joyner just came right in and made an easy tackle.
And it's certainly hard when you've got somebody coming in, bearing down on you, and you can't get away. Big loss that time, second and long. Najee throws deep down the far side. He's got a man over the head of the intended receiver, just out of his reach. And there's going to be Najee. He's on the ground, and see if he gets up. He does. It's intended for Antoine Tanner, and Tanner had his man beaten down the field. That's a couple of times, guys. Najee has missed guys down the field that were open.
Najee, he comes into the game leading the league with completion percentage at 64. A little bit wild today.
A little bit.
He's just kind of throwing it up there and kind of hoping for the best, as opposed to putting it really in a good spot for his receivers to catch.
Now he's thrown it to the right guy that's open, but a little too much air underneath both times. Najee over the middle's got a man, caught, hit and dropped, and a good-looking play. Kobe Beltran makes the play. First down for Antioch.
Yeah, let it be one of the team leaders to make a play.
Now that's something they're gonna have to look for right there. As Beltran's been open every time he's ran that pattern. He's running down and kind of running out a little slant off his defender. That time Najee had a bit of time, threw off the right foot, threw to the right side of the field, and a great reception that time by Beltran, who's been really Antioch's star, other than the one run for Harris.
They're putting Harris out wide right now. They put Dwan Boyd in the backfield.
Harris split out to the far side. Najee throws. There's Payne in the corner of the end zone. No good as that one angled toward the sideline, and it looked like Ryan Payne was running out of real estate very quickly, and that ball probably should have been thrown a little bit more on a line and maybe a little earlier.
No, I was looking at Harris that whole play. He just ran up and pushed his cornerback down. Didn't even try to get open.
Well, he was out there, was Ryan Payne, and again, you know, we are seeing on a number of times now, guys, Antioch Panther receivers getting past Pittsburgh defenders deep down the field, and sooner or later they've got to hit one of those.
Tony, Jordan Parker's not in the game right now too, so that's got to hurt the Pittsburgh defense.
Here's Harris.
Handoff goes to Najee.
Going to go up the middle, just pick up a couple of yards. So that's going to make it third down and long, third down at about 8. Tariq Wright, Charlie Ramirez there defensively for Pittsburgh.
Third down and 8.
Jordan Parker there on the bench next to a trainer right now.
Looks like he's got his head down, and
he looks like he's in a lot of pain.
Okay.
Yeah, he's kind of rocking back and forth like something's in a lower leg.
Jordan Parker going to Oklahoma, one of the top corners in the country. Handoff right up the middle, picking up the first down, and that is Boyd getting down to about the 11-yard line. Another big play when they had to have it. One on defense, the Kobe Beltran catch for the first down, and now here on third and long, Boyd comes up with a nice run.
A little bit of a counter draw that time. Boyd, a guy that hasn't ran the ball, got a hole, and he's a little bowling ball too, 11. He can run in there, he can knock some guys down, and he's got good speed. Now Antioch's in that tight formation right now.
There's one wide receiver split out to the far side. Here's Harris trying the middle of that field and really going right into the teeth of that Pirate defense. So Jordan Parker still remaining on the sideline here for Pittsburgh. First team all BVAL, all Northern California, 2014 Max Preps all-state player. And boy, you miss a guy like that, boy, you really just, some of those guys you really can't replace.
Well, especially him. He's like you said, you don't hear a lot about guys like that. This area has usually produced the Antioch more lineman, tight end type guys. Pittsburgh, especially wide receiver, a running back position. To have a all league corner is a little rare.
Najee bottled up again, gets out past the line of scrimmage, but not much as he gets to the 9-yard line. Just about a yard or so for Najee, and they've been able to handle him lately.
Yeah, looking at Parker on the sideline, looks like something with his left arm is going on. It looked like the trainer, he was on his left side, possibly an elbow injury.
Not good for Pittsburgh. 3rd down and 8. Inside the Pittsburgh 10 from about the 9. Najee takes the handoff. They go around the near side, and then pushed out of bounds is Payne. Coming up there to make that tackle was Deshaun Thompson.
Michael Harris with a stop.
He knocked out about 2.5 yards to go. Interesting to see what they do here. They need about 1.5 yards for a first down, 2.5 for a touchdown.
Ball is at the 4-yard line.
Here comes Carnthong, so I think they're thinking we're going to kick a field goal. Now they call timeout, does Antioch, and they want to talk this one over. Interesting call here, guys, at the 4-yard line. You figure it's a chip shot field goal to make it 21-11, but usually with Antioch, they're going for it.
Antioch's not going to kick a field goal. I mean, first of all, how many field goals have they even tried this year? To do that in this game, Antioch's going to go for it. Like you said, they get a first down inside the 1, but they're going to look for a touchdown right here. I would think that in this situation, with Parker out of the game, you might try a play-action rollout to the right, or because Najee really has been, like I said, he's been shut down here the second quarter. He has not been able to get loose. Najee is better running, looking into the middle of the field, and that's what I think he'll do.
All right, the Panther offense back on the field. Here comes the Pittsburgh defense to join them. And here's the situation, 21-8 in favor of Pittsburgh, but following a turnover, 4th down and 3 for the Antioch Panthers, coming from about the Pittsburgh 4-yard line. Looks like they're set up in that Wildcat formation. Najee took the center snap, fumbled the football, and he will not get the first down, and the Pirates take over on down.
Antioch is making way too many mistakes, way too many. A bad snap on that shotgun. I didn't like that call from the beginning because I think you got to put your quarterback in the position to do many things. That everyone in the stadium knows who's getting the ball right there, and he didn't even get it. So another mistake. We've had penalties, we have turnovers, and now we have a bad snap.
So following the takeaway on the fumble recovery for Antioch, they're able to move into position, guys, but not able to score. 1st down and 10 here for the Pirates inside their own 10. Thompson has got room on the right side. He's got blockers, turns the corner, picks up a first down, out across the 20, and near the 25-yard line for Montez Thompson. About 15 yards on that play. And so far, he's been the running star here for Pittsburgh, and overall the running star in the ball game, and not Najee Harris.
Thompson has been unable to be stopped by the Antioch line. Antioch's line a little thin up front right now, and the linebackers are the guys chasing him down, making the tackles, and this guy has
Turner,
been
he's
spectacular
got some
as well.
room. Out across the 30 to about the 31. Nearly about 6 yards on that gain. And that'll bring up 2nd and 4 as Kobe Beltram comes up to make the tackle. But another nice play for this Pirates running game.
Gain of almost 7 yards. 2nd down and 3. Ball to 31.
2nd down and 3. There's that 4 wide receiver spread. Christian Young in that shotgun. Turner's going to get it. Caught in the backfield and thrown down for a loss. Big number 74, Tim Dorsey, comes up to make a play. So just, guys, when we start to think Antioch's going to get blown out, they do come up with some good plays. Unfortunately, they couldn't cash in after that last turnover.
And now they really need a stop here. About 4 minutes to go here in the second quarter. They could really use a stop and another chance with the ball.
And boy, there is Antioch showing blitz on the play, and then they jump across the line of scrimmage on the 3rd and 5, and that looks like it could cost them a first down here. Boy, Dan, with these penalties, we saw it earlier in the season when it seemed like they couldn't put a couple of plays together without a penalty, and the call will be encroachment on the defense. Too bad. It looked like they had a chance to get a stop here, and instead the Pirates moved the chains on the penalty.
Yeah, everyone who I talked to, and they mentioned early in the season, they mentioned that Acalanes game specifically where Antioch got called for 20 penalties in that game.
Yikes.
They have 5 today, but they've all hurt.
That one really hurts. Young back, throws, far side of the field. Jump ball is going to be a flag thrown. A couple of guys battling for it. It was Deshaun Thompson who was the intended receiver, and Tanner who was there in coverage. That's nearly where the flag was thrown.
For Jordan Parker.
So it's Jordan Parker, actually number 2, who the pass was intended for. So that's good news that Parker's back in the game, and more good news for Pittsburgh. Penalty against Antioch.
You know, it looked like it was contact from both players. I thought they were going to call pushing from Parker, but they went with passing interference for Antoine Tanner.
That's one of those ones I wish they just leave the flag in their pocket.
Right. So this is not a spot of the foul call.
Ball is at the
They're going to mark this one at the Pittsburgh 49-yard line. That will be a first down. Oh, ball juggled here a little bit, but Turner going to get the carry and pick up good yardage. Isaiah Turner is going to get to the 45-yard line as Nick Perry comes up to make the tackle, but even when they bobble the ball, run into each other, still able to pick up yards.
Yeah, Pittsburgh, other than the fumble, hasn't had much go wrong for them today.
Second down.
And look at that. Thompson has 114 yards rushing and Turner 74. They've combined for almost 200 yards of rushing here in the first half.
Boy, Antioch blitzes this time, and they catch, I believe it's going to be Montez Thompson in the backfield. Let's see. It actually is Isaiah Turner, and he's going to lose a couple of yards. So a good time for a blitz as they blitz right up the middle. Kyle Brown gets there initially, and Pittsburgh goes backwards on second down. That'll bring up third down and 6 as they lose a pair. There's that spread offense by Pittsburgh. Brand new offense put in by Vic Galley and his staff. They're going to throw out of the flat. Ball's intercepted. Ryan Payne, 40. He is gone. 20, 10, touchdown. Antioch, and Payne knew that one was coming.
Wow. Now you want to talk, now he's going to get a celebration penalty, which I think is ridiculous. I don't know why. Why do you even have to call that? You know, it's amazing to me what they instruct referees to call it nowadays.
I got a question, gentlemen. Why can't you celebrate after you score a touchdown?
Well, you can't. No, you made the point, Tony. You can't celebrate after. You can't do anything anymore.
Yeah,
but
why?
So anyway, that's irregardless.
They don't
Great
like people
play
being
by
happy.
Payne. Yeah, great play by Payne. He jumped that route, and you know that guy's got sprinter speed. He was gone, and that put Antioch right back in the ball game.
Boy, it looked like Young thrown now his 10th interception of the season, and this is a big one.
Well, yeah, because Antioch's going to have to kick from the 10-yard line after this.
2:37 to go, but the Panthers back on the board with their second touchdown of this first half. And Ryan Payne coming up with an interception about 45 yards on the return. And Dan, the throw might have been a little telegraphed, but Payne was in great position, jumped the route, made the catch, and he was off to the races. And a huge play for Antioch. Talk about being back in the game. They are right now.
They will here, and you know them. They're going for 2.
And actually, Dan, they're going to mark this one off on the PAT. So at least good news for Antioch. It won't be on the kickoff. Bad news is it's going to be a whole lot harder
this
to
is
get
better
this
news
PAT.
because you still got a whole half to catch them. But if you had kicked off from would have probably been the 15-yard line, you'd have put Pittsburgh in great field position with 2 minutes on the clock for them to go score a whole lot more points than just giving up these 2. Now they're actually going to kick this, which is
34-yard away.
Amazing. We've hardly seen them with this sort of formation this year.
Najee with the hold. Torres will attempt the 24-yard PAT. Snap, hold, kick, and this one.
And that's why we haven't seen Antioch kick that this year.
I think he kicked the top of the ball that time.
If that was ever an example, an indictment for their kicking game to kick and not to go for 2, you just saw it right there.
Need I say no good?
No. Tony, that would have been good if there was a soccer goal on the other side of the line of scrimmage.
That was rather unusual looking that time, as it looks like he hit the top of the ball. But nonetheless, the Antioch Panthers are back in this football game.
Do you remember last week when they were down close? Remember that towards the end of the game, and we said they should try a field goal here, just to let the kid kick a field goal. And you saw it there. You just, you know, it's one thing to kick them out in practice when there's no one there, and it's another thing to kick them when there's 10,000 people watching it.
So Antioch, no good on the PAT, but the lead for Pittsburgh just 7. 2:37 to go here in the opening half.
Tony, by the way, Pitt's ranked 67 in California by Max Preps. Antioch 25, as we mentioned, due to their undefeated record. And nothing like a little disturb to get the natives up and off their feet, I always say.
So here comes Torres out onto the field. He'll kick off now for Antioch. And for the Pirates, well, they've still got a couple of timeouts, 2.5 minutes to try a drive here, so plenty of time for the Pittsburgh offense. Here's the high end over end kick, gonna fall pretty short here. Juggled, picked up at the 12-yard line, coming here to the near side, gets out across the 20 into the 25, flags fly. So a pretty good looking return here by Isaiah Turner, but I think this one is coming back following a holding or a block in the back.
It's a block in the back on Pittsburgh. There was a block and a hold. So, they'll take the block in the back because it was farther back. So Pittsburgh's going to start deep in their territory. This is where Antioch's got to look at it and say, hey guys, we just intercepted a pass for a touchdown. Let's let the defense do it again for us here.
So you talk about tempo changes. First couple of possessions, all Antioch. Then the next several possessions, all Pittsburgh. And now following the Payne interception return for a touchdown and the penalty here on the kickoff, Antioch has the momentum on their side right now. Ball will be at the 8-yard line here for Pittsburgh. 2:26 to go here in the opening half. They lead it by a touchdown.
At Pittsburgh, they keep going with this 4 wideouts on their offense, but they're just rushing the ball. Interesting.
Christian Young coming in with 2,017 yards passing this year. And a handoff, Thompson picking his way, gets free, cross the 20, 25, 30. Thompson off to the races. Can anybody catch him? 20, 10, touchdown Pittsburgh. 92 yards for Montez Thompson, and the Pirates have scored again.
91 yards on the run by Thompson, and absolutely atrocious tackling on that play by Antioch. It was almost like Antioch thought this half was over, and they just let Pittsburgh go right down the field. And once again, now Antioch's not out of this game by any means, but Pittsburgh gets the ball to start the second half, but Antioch still got 2 minutes on the clock. Hell, we could have another touchdown the way this game's being played, but that was horrible tackling by the Antioch defense that time.
Alberto Hernandez to kick, and now the referee says, hold on, take 1 minute. All right, now he's ready. Hernandez, snap, hold, kick is good. 2:07 to go here in the opening half. The Pirates, after giving up that touchdown on the Payne interception return, answer with a Montez Thompson 92-yard touchdown run, 28-14, Pirates.
But Tony, Thompson now has 205 yards in the first half rushing. And if you would have said, here's some money, there'll be a guy in that game with 205 yards rushing in the first half, you would have put it all on Najee Harris, I'm sure. Most people would have. And Pittsburgh is showing what everyone said about this game. It's a big little game.
And
anything can happen, and it is happening today.
And for Montez, his long coming into today was 70 yards, so he broke that and then some with that 92-yard run.
Well, we don't have
now has 16 touchdowns on the year.
We don't have a media guide or that kind of guide, but maybe Luke's looking it up right now if he can find it somewhere on the internet. That might have been the longest run in Big Little Game history for. But we don't have all those kind of records at our fingertips like you can get when you're doing a pro game or a college game.
Here's Hernandez booting this one, running up and making the catch at about the 7-yard line. Turning the corner on the far side, getting out across the 30. Isaiah Dunn, but a 20-yard return as he gets to the 30-yard line, and that's where Antioch will set up shop. And now for Antioch, guys, 1:59 to go. They also have 2 timeouts, so plenty of time for the Antioch Panthers to mount a drive. But boy, they have had a hard time getting their offense going here recently.
Yeah, they haven't scored since that first drive on offense. And it would give them momentum going in. It would give them getting them that much closer, which is important. But as I mentioned, Pittsburgh gets the ball to start the second half. You're down 2 touchdowns. They score a third. It's going to be real difficult to come back and win this game.
We're going to go end around, and this one is bottled up, corralled. The flags fly, and bottling up that nicely was number 19, Michael Pryor. Didn't make the tackle, Dan. Field and really messed up that entire play for Payne and the Panthers.
And that's happened a couple of times here. But where is this penalty going? They're looking like they're going to mark it off against
They
Pittsburgh,
are.
which could possibly be a face mask or some sort of personal foul. Oh, it's only a 5 yard.
Only 5 yards, so not a personal foul call, and I've not seen a hand signal yet to denote what the penalty
maybe it
was.
the minor. There's like a major and a minor.
Major face mask penalty.
And because they only got 5 yards on that play, and it came during the play.
Najee going to try to go end around. Here's Payne. Gets a block to seal that outside, and he gets to the 40-yard line, about 8 yards on the carry. Leave him about 2 yards short of the first down as we take under a minute and a half to go. And they really got that nice seal block on the outside to help spring it.
Antioch going with a lot of fakes in the backfield. Pittsburgh's defense is doing a good job not committing.
Able to force that one back in. Here's DeJuan. Boyd tripped up, and he does pick up the first down as he gets out to the 45-yard line. So he picks up 5 yards on the first down. But boy, guys, that looked like it was going to be a huge play. Charlie Ramirez able to trip him up, and that was a huge play for Ramirez as the Panthers call timeout.
Yeah, this is they're in interesting territory right now because it almost feels like they can't go to Harris. It's like Harris is so prevalent in their offense, and he's been stopped that they're trying to do other things. At some point, you're going to have to lean on him again, and it'll be interesting to see now that they have a first down, a minute 12 to go in the first half. One more timeout. That what they do here, they got to go 55 yards, Tony.
All right, water break for everybody. Antioch offense back on the field, and now likewise for the Pittsburgh defense. 2-touchdown lead for the Pirates, and it looked like they were really turning out to dominate this game, but a fumble takeaway for Antioch and then a Ryan Payne interception return for a touchdown has gotten them closer, but then Montez Thompson broke off a 92-yard run and is back to a 2-score game.
First down, 10 yards.
First down and 10 from their own 45. Najee with time steps up, still looking, and he's just going to throw this one out of bounds. The Pirates, they're looking like they want the flag, and they're going to get it for intentional grounding. Well, we had this come up earlier, Dan. You got to be outside the tackle box. The ball has got to go out of bounds, or at least sometimes get to the line of scrimmage.
Well, they got to the line of scrimmage, but it was also thrown somewhere near the medical staff of Antioch.
And it looked like Newman had a little more time than he thought. He looked like he had some room to kind of get back in that right-handed throwing position, Dan, and release the football. Instead, he's going to be hit with this penalty, and they're going to go back to the 32-yard line now. So Antioch's penalties have really hurt him, and all of a sudden, this drive not looking as promising as it once did.
Second down, 23 yards to go.
8 penalties for 70 yards now. It'll bring up second down and 23. Our very own Dave Jackson providing the stats. Thank you, Dave. Here's Boyd with the run as he gets to the 35, and that's all.
You don't realize on that, you also lose down.
That was DeJuan Boyd.
Loss of down, and that's why it's kind of, that's a real damaging penalty. I mean, you lose 15 yards and you're down.
20 yards to go.
That just kills the drive right there.
It really does. Third down and 20 here in a tight bunch formation here for Antioch. They're going to play it safely, and they fumble the football, but it's right into the hands. No, they do recover it, or who recovered it? Pittsburgh has it. Boy, I just said, Dan, I just started to say that they were trying to play this safe, and they fumble the football.
And you're seeing mistakes now be made that you got to wonder if these kids are just a little nervous. This is the biggest stage they've probably ever played on. This is a huge game. It's a game that means who wins a championship. And Antioch is, the penalties were our characteristic. These turnovers aren't. They have not turned the ball over like this. And these are simple plays. These are just handing the ball off to your running back and throwing the ball to your receiver. And Antioch hasn't been able to do it here other than on the first drive of this half.
You know, that fourth down play on that Wildcat close to the Pittsburgh goal line they didn't come up with. And now they give Pittsburgh a golden chance to take a 3-score lead. Young back, throws over the middle. The ball is going to be tipped up in the air and intercepted by Tanner inside the 5.
Intercepted by Antioch.
Antoine Tanner going up and making the pick. And now just try to run out the clock.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh can stop it twice, but Antioch can just run it out now. And good news for them, the Pirates won't score any more points here in this first half.
That is if they don't get a safety.
From now
Antioch's getting
three.
tackled in the backfield all the time.
Yeah, he threw that into a wave of players. His players, their players, many players were there on that play.
Boy, Tanner made that great leap up and over the receiver and then juggled the ball initially, and I thought that it looked like the Pirates were going to have a chance to catch that one off the tip.
You know, Tony, the only thing you could say here is, yeah, you want to get out of here, but you do have Najee Harris. Yeah, they might be thinking the same thing. Let's just see what they
I'm thinking
play.
don't fumble the ball.
Well, that would be my idea. That might be it right there.
Najee Harris stacked
And
up at the line of
the
scrimmage.
Pirates look like they will not call timeout here and just let this first half clock expire and take their 2 touchdown lead.
Pittsburgh has a
into the locker
timeout. I
room.
would take it.
And they won't. They got a pair of timeouts, actually, and they're not going to take either one here, and that will do it.
And that's the
A
end of the
wild,
first half.
exciting first half. It looked like Antioch was on the road to getting blown out, but they are still hanging around, down by 2 scores, 28-14 in the 2015 Big Little game. And we'll be back to National Prep Stars and Delta TV right after this. It's what they can do, and just the fact that the Pirate defense, you know, other than that one carry for 53 yards, they've absolutely shut down Najee Harris, and that's got to be a big surprise to anybody.
Yeah, the fans entertained right now by the 2 mascots going at it. But yeah, definitely surprising. This is the first time Antioch has trailed coming into the second half. So interesting to see how they go through adversity. I can't imagine a team shutting down Najee Harris for an entire game.
Right.
But the thing with Pittsburgh, they're well known for making great adjustments at halftime and defensively shutting teams down for the past several years.
Well, you talked about their defensive line, all underclassmen guys. It might have been somewhat of a weakness here on their defense. Not a weakness here this afternoon. They played very well.
Yeah, the Antioch has not, other than that one play, the running play and one play for Boyd where he ran a draw play back inside, they have not been able to really get anything going. And there's bad snaps, fumbled snaps. They had a broken play where Harris and Najee ran into each other on a play. Not the kind of stuff you expect from a 9-0 team in the 10th game in a championship game that's this big. But you know, every team has to lose a big game before they win the big game. And this might be Antioch's time. You know, Antioch, as we mentioned, no diversity, no problems. Nothing has really stood in their way this year. And this is where you really see how good they've become. Because this second half is going to be, it's going to be make or break for them. Now, is it the end of the world if they lose this game? They lose a few seeding spots. They'll probably end up in the 5 or 6 spot now. But it will give Pittsburgh probably the ability to have a bye. Antioch will probably have to host a game now at home next week, depending on how many teams make the playoffs.
Take a look at that, the D1. Antioch, Pittsburgh in, Foothill, Pleasanton, they'll be in. Remember, Foothill, they beat Monte Vista this year. The Falcons are 10-0. Amador, they'll be in the playoff. De La Salle, of course, they're in. Of course, Monte Vista, just the one loss for Monte Vista this year. That was obviously the Foothill. And De La Salle coming in, only one loss this year to Trinity of Euless, Texas. So one of those schools, again, that probably has their own stadium.
I think they have their own jet.
Yeah.
Anyway, Tony, if this result holds, if Pittsburgh wins, you could imagine your top 5 will be De La Salle, Foothill, Monte Vista, Pittsburgh, and Antioch. But that does lead to an interesting second round matchup, 4 versus 5 if it happens. Antioch and Pittsburgh could play again.
We've met one time in the playoffs during the Galley regime, won, of course, by Pittsburgh. I think the last time, what is it, Nick, Luke, reading your article, 2006, the last time the Panthers won this matchup?
It was the last time. It was very rainy, back when Antioch had a dirt field, yet not a grass field, a dirt field. It was completely muddy. Everyone was sliding everywhere.
Well, it was supposed to be a grass field.
It was supposed to.
It wasn't like it was just a dirt field, but it was a grass field that became dirt. I think we covered that game. We don't have that problem out here too much anymore. There's only, if you can name the stadiums that have grass, you're Can you name them all, Tony? That
sure
are
can.
from between Liberty down to the 3 big leagues or 4 big leagues out here: EBAL, BVAL, DVAL, DFAL. I think there's 3 stadiums left with grass. Can you name them?
One's Deer Valley.
Deer Valley.
I don't know.
The
any
other
others.
2 are over the hill.
Over the hill. Okay.
Well, don't
Amador
keep us
Valley.
in suspense.
Mount Diablo and Concord.
Oh, no
Okay.
wonder. When was the last time we were out at Mount Diablo? No, actually, take that back. We were out at Mount Diablo like 3 years ago doing a Panther game.
It's been a while since we were at
Been a
Mount
while.
Diablo. But Concord has never, even though they now have their own stadium, they didn't play at home for years and years and years. They have yet to have the new turf installed. So
Well, Concord, of course, Brian Hamilton there for a number of years. Now at an assistant coach at Cal Berkeley, so congratulations to him. And he and Vic Galley, of course, good friends, met in the coaching ranks here a long time ago. And I think we were doing a game years ago at Concord, Dan. I remember I was doing sideline reporting, and I had some interviews with Brian Hamilton. And not only did he turn around a moribund program, but he also had those guys and those players, Dan, that really wanted to play for him. And there became a situation where they were like, you know, once a Minutemen, always a Minutemen. And you could just kind of see then that was the kind of guy that was going to go on to the next level,
Yeah.
and he has. And good luck to him.
yeah, he's a good
as
guy.
He goes along. And he
Real
was
nice
always
guy
a
to
nice guy,
deal with.
treated us really, really well.
Yeah, real nice guy. Always enjoyed my talks with him. He had a couple of guys come through there that moved on and are still playing in college. But you're right, Concord. There was a time when Concord, Mount Diablo, Northgate, those kind of teams were just
Didn't matter.
afterthoughts. I mean, no one even
Didn't
thought of
matter
it.
at all.
And Mount Diablo's still struggling, but Northgate's had some decent years. Concord's had some decent years.
And Coach Jeff Walters in Liberty turned that program around. Tough year this year a little bit, but having success. Second half is underway. This one taken by Turner at the 8-yard line. Cross the 15, makes a cut. Cross the 25, cross the 35 to about the 37-yard line. 32 yards on that play, but a flag on the play as well.
Left.
It's
Flag.
holding on Pittsburgh, so this will start back
on the tackle
10 to 15, depending on the spot. But
against the Pirates.
That's the second time they've held on the kickoff.
Yeah, that's one thing in the pros. We're seeing less of that in the NFL lately, but there was the longest time when you could not get a kickoff at almost any level of football without having a penalty. Seems
I
like
don't
the
even-
NFL's gotten better lately.
you got to wonder in the NFL why you even have a kickoff.
Pirate 20.
Just put the ball at the 20-yard line and let them go.
They just kick it in the end zone anyway.
That's just for TV time.
All right, first down and 10. Pirates mark back to their own 20-yard line. 4 wide receivers spread, and Young keeping everybody at the line of scrimmage. Long snap count. Hand, and Thompson bounces off a tackle and tries to run wide. They string it out nicely to the Panthers, and it's going to be a short gain. And that time they would not allow him any room to turn up the field.
When they pushed him to the outside, he had to run out of bounds.
You're going to need that, though. Foca in the first half was not in a lot of plays. That time he got inside on the inside the line of scrimmage, chased him all the way out of bounds. You're going to need that kind of effort from this defense in the second half to get back in this one.
And you got to love that coordinated, pursuit of the ball. Nobody over pursuing, keeping their lanes contained and not allowing Thompson to get away. Here's Montez again, a couple of yards up over the middle, out to about the 24-yard line. This will leave them well short of the first down, and we'll call it third down at about 6.
Interesting game to play right here. Do you throw? The last 2 passes Young has thrown have been intercepted. But this is a obvious passing situation and a spread offense with 4 wide receivers.
So let's see what Coach Galley decides to do. Third down, they're calling it 7. Now they're going to hand off. Turner going to get it, then he falls down as he tried to make the cut to turn it upfield as he hit the 25, and then he hits the deck, and the Pirates will punt the football.
No, I think this is something Antioch needs to get momentum quickly in the second half. And hopefully that can swing into their offense and they can get something going for the Panthers.
Well, it's been tough going for their offense, as we said. Dan, those numbers for Najee outside that 53-yard touchdown run and that first drive, not very good. And here's Hernandez out to punt it away. Ryan Payne has dropped back deep. There go the Gunners away. This one booted. It's going to hang up there and hit inside the 45 and take a Pirate bounce down to about the 40. I make it the 36-yard line. And Antioch gets it there, 1st and 10.
Well, Antioch had a checklist. The first thing would have been 3 and out. Second thing would have been decent field position. So right now, things are going pretty well for them. Now they need to do something on offense.
Yeah, third thing is Najee Harris breaking away. They haven't seen enough of that.
You know, the thing is, they had 2 turnovers in the first half, but they fumbled it another 2 or 3 times and, fell on it.
I was going to mention this, too. If you notice the split, he's deeper in the backfield this time. He was lining up right next to the quarterback. It didn't look like he was getting much of a break on the ball. And look at that time. He has a little bit more of a break, and he's out there and he gained some yardage that time. Looked like he wasn't getting enough room to move between the line gaps in the first half, Tony.
Charlie Ramirez made a big tackle right there. It looked like Najee was going to break away.
Yeah, he wrapped him around his ankles. I was talking to Charlie's former teammate Sherrod yesterday, and he says that's what Charlie is really great at, just getting you down no matter what cost.
He made a big tackle there because I really thought that was going to be the breakaway. Najee fake the handoff. Newman back, throws over the middle. He's got Tanner in and out of his hands, and he was breaking away. Stride for stride with him defensively was number 27, Armon McCraven, but McCraven actually kind of beat to the inside. That ball should have been caught. That should have been a big play.
That might have been a touchdown.
So that leaves it a 3rd down and 4, Dan, and another time a wide receiver open. This time Najee puts it right on the numbers, and they can't make the catch.
Well, if you notice, he throws the ball better between the hash marks and, just on a straight line than he does when he lofts one and just kind of lets the wide receiver.
A lot of air underneath those balls.
A lot of air under it, and it's not working. That was a beautiful play. That just had to be caught. That would have been a big play for Antioch.
3rd down and 7. Pirates show blitz. DeJuan Boyd gets it, breaks a tackle. Cross midfield, 1st down, 40, 30. He's going to be run out of bounds on the far sideline, but a huge play for DeJuan Boyd and that Antioch running game as they pick up the 1st down and move the chain.
Hey, I'm not sure if he got knocked out of bounds or the ball got pushed out of bounds. So he kept running, but the ball was gone.
Jordan Parker, number 13,
Jordan Parker, T.J. Roberts making that tackle, but a big play from the running game. DeJuan Boyd gets the big gain, 1st and 10, and Antioch knocking on the door here to start the 3rd quarter.
We haven't seen Perry since the 1st quarter. It looks like they're going with Boyd as the number 2 running back.
But he's made a couple of good plays here tonight.
He has 63 yards, Tony, Boyd.
Here's Payne coming in motion back toward the formation. Stops, they're going to hand it off to him, tries to cut up the middle, and does. Picks up some yardage, gets inside the 20 to about the 21-yard line. I think the 19-yard line for Ryan Payne. So about 5, maybe 6 on that carry. Interesting looking play there.
That was only 6 yards. That seems little for Antioch, this whole season, but the way things have gone, a 6-yard gain is good for them.
6 yards on 1st down, I'll take that. Injury, timeout.
Amazingly, though, Harris only 1 time here in the 2nd half. I mean, they're really trying to spread the carries around, spread the ball around. And as I mentioned, Boyd's having a heck of a game.
We are being carried live on local cable, courtesy of Delta TV, bringing community events like this to East Contra Costa County. Delta TV for you and by you. Delta TV is supported by the cities of Pittsburg and Antioch in association with Contra Costa County. Just seems like such a logistical nightmare to get all those teams here in the same places to play at the same time, and then of course lodging and travel and. Boy,
it is a logistical nightmare.
Quite an undertaking.
That's
for
why
you
I'm
guys.
involved.
Yes.
Try to resolve the nightmares.
Pirates have the ball at the 1-yard line.
So the good news for Pittsburgh is they take over here with 8:11 to go, not having given up that 3rd touchdown here to Antioch. The bad news is they're going to start at about the 1-foot line, just ahead of their own goal line. And let's see if the Antioch defense can't make some noise and keep them right where they are. So Antioch almost completely lined up in their own end zone. Handoff. And that's going to be stopped. Is that going to be a safety?
Well, it is
going to be a safety. So Antioch is going to get points out of this. They pick up 2 points as Isaiah Turner is unable to get out of the end zone, and a flag has been thrown. I think it's for too much celebrating again.
Why is he calling it?
on the other
I
side of
mean,
the field.
why is the far side judge?
What
The
happened?
guy over there wasn't good enough to call that penalty?
They can't jump up and down when they do something?
God,
They
I
can't
don't
be happy?
understand this, man.
It's going to be a safety for Antioch, and then an unsportsmanlike penalty call against them. And I would imagine this will come on the free kick and give the Pirates a lot more field position for this
Well,
kick.
they'll get to punt from the 35-yard line now instead of 20. I'm not saying that they weren't, but the guy that threw look at the flag if we have it on TV. He threw it from the far sideline. The celebration was going on 50 yards across the field, and there was a ref standing right there.
Not only that, Dan, but most of them were already across the sideline off the field when they were celebrating. It's just a penalty that doesn't need to be called.
One thing I've always been told, and sometimes I'm even guilty of it, but when you referee or umpire like I do, don't become visible. No one came to see you. That's the bottom line of that. And I just don't get it. I mean, how could you hear what they were doing if they were taunting or saying anything other than jumping up and down? As Luke said, what, you can't jump up and down?
I mean,
what are you supposed to do?
I mean, you talk about another momentum shift, Dan. They just lost the ball at about the 2-yard line when they looked like they were going in for a touchdown. So you don't get any points. Now you pick up a couple of points and you're going to get the ball back. You're not supposed to be happy about that?
I don't get it. I really don't.
Hernandez will kick off now from the 35 instead of the 20. He squibs this one, taken by one of the up men at the 26. It's Boyd across the 40. Boyd across the 50. Inside of Pittsburgh territory, and they're going to mark him out of bounds as he's hit out of bounds. And I think we're going to get a late hit here on Pittsburgh.
I think it is.
I think you're going to get that field position right back. So they tried to squib kick, but DeJuan Boyd makes a great return out of it. He gets 40-plus yards on the return, and you're going to add more to that with the penalty. So a great situation for Antioch, trailing now just 28-16.
Yeah, now Pittsburgh's, even though Antioch made a huge mistake on that drive, Pittsburgh's been making the mistakes. They haven't been able to do nothing on offense so far in the second half. Antioch's going to have to capitalize with a touchdown. A touchdown would really put Antioch solidly back in this game. And if they do it quick, they'll have plenty of time to try to overcome this deficit.
Boy, they didn't tack on a whole lot of yards after that run. Kind of interesting where the spot is here. Anyway, from the 28-yard line of Pittsburgh, 1st and 10. Harris to his left. Breaks a tackle, hits, stops, still goes forward, picks up a couple of more. So Najee, looks like he picked up close to 5 on that left side. It'll bring up 2nd down.
Charlie Ramirez.
Actually, going to mark this only for about a 4-yard gain to make it 2nd and 6.
A great execution for tackling by Pittsburgh right there, again.
Ball is at the 25.
Once again, a pulling lineman that Sahota was out in front of Harris that time. It's really, you got to watch at the end of these plays. You get someone tackling him, and then you get all these little corners and safeties running in, and they're like little darts trying to just knock Harris down.
2nd down, Tanner in motion. Najee going to get the ball. Gets out across the line of scrimmage, but not much farther. So maybe a yard for Harris here. It'll bring up 3rd down and call it 5, maybe 6. But a big 3rd down upcoming here. Vasquez and Ramirez to make the tackle here for Pittsburgh. Huge 3rd down upcoming here for the Panthers. But I would imagine, again, Dan, they'll go for it here on 4th down anyway.
Interesting how they're running to the short side of the field almost
A lot.
exclusively. And there's so much room on this side. You got 2 wide receivers and just 2 DBs. If they could get him outside on this right side, it could be a big
Here they
run.
go, trying the right side this time. And Najee going to be close to a 1st down. He's going to come up just about a half a yard short. So Harris picks up about 5 on the play. Vasquez makes the tackle. 4th down and short here for Antioch.
There's a 100% chance they're going to go for it.
Yeah, they're obviously going to go for it here as Najee and the rest of that offense looking over the sideline as the signals are being sent in. Brett Dudley, the offensive coordinator, relaying some signals here to the Antioch offense. 4th down.
Look how many men they have in the box for Pittsburgh.
Everybody up the line of scrimmage. Now Harris being sent out wide, and we're going to have a timeout. A delay of game is going to be the call against Antioch, and it'll make it 4th down and 6.
I mean, you can't shoot yourself anymore in the foot. You won't have a foot left, Tony, the way this one's going.
Fourth down, 6.
They have blown off all of their toes
Yeah.
with that one, Dan, and now it's going to be 4th and 6 instead of 4th and 1. Well, not only are there penalties, but the penalties that really hurt. Najee in the backfield. Najee fakes the handoff. Newman back, throws far side of the field. There's Harris, but he overthrew him as Harris looked like he got caught up with some defenders out there and just couldn't get out there to catch the ball. Turnover on downs. Irish football.
Well, we've seen, I was going to say, we've seen this how many times now when he just throws the ball up and nothing's coming out of the play. What good is the play? And that's a tough play because Harris has to get through their line to get outside. And you can see Antioch looks really frustrated right now. Very frustrated.
Referees talking, possibly some contact while the ball was in the air. They're going to call it Pittsburgh's ball.
The Pirates will get the football here, so they dodge yet another bullet. Guys, 2 different times now here in the 3rd quarter. Antioch has been deep in Pittsburgh territory. Once inside the 5, they've come up with 2 points for their efforts. Of course, that 2 points on that safety, and that's it. So the Pirates have dodged another bullet here, and they take over 1st down and 10 for about their own 24-yard line. And then Thompson has the ball taken away by Payne. Touchdown, Antioch!
Rivalry games.
This is turning into the craziest game I've ever seen.
Oh my gosh!
What the heck just happened there?
That deflection in the 1st quarter against Payne. Now Payne picks up this bobbled ball. I don't know what was that.
I thought he was down. I mean, you could see the entire
going
Pittsburgh team
down.
saying, was he down laying on his back? But guess what, folks? There's no challenges here in the high school game. They can't come up and look at a replay of that play. That was called on the field as a touchdown. It is a touchdown. And now, Antioch is killing themselves. Now Pittsburgh's killing themselves. This is crazy, Tony.
That was
Payne's
Payne's
absolutely nutty.
2nd defensive touchdown of the game.
Now we have the conversion.
They have more points on defense than offense.
And offense. 2 touchdowns and a safety. And here they go for the 2-point conversion. This has not been automatic today from this formation, guys, as it has all season long. Here's that Wildcat formation again. Najee's got it. No, they're going to go to Boyd, and he is in for the 2-point conversion. 28 to 24. 5:40 to go in the 3rd quarter.
And now it's anyone's ball game.
We have the interception return by Payne for the touchdown. We've had twice now, guys, where the Panthers have taken the ball away from the Pirates, literally ripped it out of their hands, and this last one by Payne going for a touchdown. And guys, right now, Ryan Payne has got to be your player of the game.
Absolutely. Well, Montez Thompson. But for Antioch,
I guess it
he's the
depends on
player of
who
the game.
wins,
Yeah.
obviously. But
I mean,
to
he's
score
done
2
some.
defensive touchdowns in a game is exceedingly rare.
That is very, especially the way he's done it. But this is the big little game, Tony. This has happened so many times. See how many crazy big little games there's been? Oh my goodness. We've had riots. We've had games at DVC, games in day, games at night, games on Tuesday, games in the rain. Never a game in the snow, though, Tony. We never had one.
In California, pretty tough.
Isaiah Turner with the ball.
Turner from the 10, the 20 to the 25, surges ahead to about the 27-yard line. So Isaiah Turner, 17 yards on that return, and Pittsburgh will set up shop 1st and 10.
O.C. Hayes made the tackle. He came up nice that time, too. Antioch really has picked it up defensively here in the 2nd half. We'll have to wait to see what happens. Pittsburgh's ran, other than they're 3 and out, 1 play for a safety, 1 play on a fumble recovery for a touchdown, 5 plays in this half.
1st and 10 for the Pirates on that 4 wide receiver spread. Back to pass, throws deep down the field. They're wrestling on the sideline over there, and we are not going to see a flag. Thank God for that. And Young's pass going down the field. Thomas was there offensively, but the coverage very good by Antioch that time. And on the coverage was number 22, Miles Aguiar, and he was really with Thomas step for step that time.
It is a great game we're having. It's a beautiful day. We have a beautiful view here. We get to see the mural. We got the Pirates up here. We get to see the Delta a little bit over there.
Best view of any stadium that I've been to. And this one, Thompson is going to get a couple of yards out across the 32, about the 31. Montez, a very good low center of gravity, guys, and good speed. And his head coach, Vic Alley, really compares him to LaDainian Tomlinson on the way he runs the football.
Wears the same number.
Yeah, he does wear the same number. Isaiah Turner, guys, was going to be, I think, the number 1 back this year, was nicked up earlier in the season. And Thompson's really picked up for him and had a great season. We told you, over 9 yards a carry during the regular year. Looking for the screen pass, they set it up. Catch is made. Running across the field, however, is A.J. Boyd, but not a whole lot of room to run, and that's going to bring up 4th down.
That's Pittsburgh's leading receiver, A.J. Boyd. They've been putting pain on him all game, and he's been shutting them down.
Well, that time he tried to run through their entire wave of linebackers, and finally Beltram came over and stuck him down. So now Antioch really crossing off the list. If they take the lead, would be the last thing on that comeback list in the 3rd quarter, and they're going to have a chance here if they don't. If something really strange doesn't happen on this punt, Tony, which I'll wait to see.
A.J. Boyd, the top receiver, slot guy, also plays safety. Big play guy. He caught that winning pass against Freedom this year.
The playmaker set to return the punt here.
43 yards.
Going to let this one go, too.
This one is going to bounce. So Payne lets this one bounce. It takes a big Pittsburgh roll inside the 25 down to the 22, but further upfield, gentlemen, near the 36-yard line. We have another flag, so let's see what this one is.
I would imagine if it's holding on Antioch, you decline. You want them back on the 16-yard line. You don't want to kick this one over. That one, the last time they punted, the ball stuck right in the ground at the about not like we mentioned the penalties. They're just not getting like a penalty at the 50 that sets them back 5. That cost them points.
And the kick somehow makes it through. It looked like a knuckleball by Hernandez, but it does somehow sneak just past that left upright, and it's 35-24, a minute 43 to go in the 3rd quarter.
Well, this has just been crazy, something you expect, Tony, but I can't wait to see what's going to happen in the next 13 minutes after what we've seen in this 3rd quarter. And the first half was pretty crazy as well. So This is what it's all about, folks. People talked about this game for years and years and years, the Big Little game. It's a nationally known thing. You know, it's called the Big Little game because Cal and Stanford's called the Big Game. This was always, I mean, this really is a rivalry that, you talk about great rivalries in high school football, this one's got to be in the top 10 in the whole country. And once again proving itself to be here tonight.
Get a chance, you'll want to read our colleague Luke Johnson's article about the Big Little game. Go to the Antioch Herald website, you can check that out. Here's Payne, and Payne going to get out across the 30 near the 35-yard line. I think Pittsburgh's getting a little bit sick of seeing Ryan Payne running down the field. Charlie Ramirez able to make that play, and Charlie, one of the best players in the NorCal, 5'9", doesn't have a scholarship offer, guys, and he's one of those guys that just has played so well the last couple of years. He's figuring he'd have a shot somewhere to play at the next level.
Well, the problem is someone's looking at that height and thinking he's not big enough. At his height, he'd almost have to play in the defensive backfield.
Yeah, I'm thinking Sam Mills. Remember Sam Mills? Handoff, Boyd, left side, breaks and tackles, tries to stay on his feet, dumped. Close to the 40-yard line, pick up about 4 yards on the play, and we'll bring up 2nd down and 6.
There's an old saying, Tony, when you go to the prom, you got to dance with who brought you. Antioch is not right now. They are not handing the ball off to their star Harris.
No, Harris is basically sitting there with a glass of punch waiting for somebody to ask him.
Yes, and he's in there. It's not like he's hurt, but they have really ran virtually every play in this quarter away from Harris. Harris has a couple of carries, but not the carries that we've seen and the runs we've seen him make earlier this year. He's just not getting to that spot where he can get outside and cause all the trouble that he does when he runs and when he hits guys that can run him over, like on the first play that they scored the touchdown on. So, and another injury. I mean, we've had a lot of injured players out here tonight. I hope everyone's okay because it's been crazy. All the guys we've carted off and had carried and play stoppage. I mean, Tony, this game's almost been 2 hours and 15 minutes, and we were in the third quarter.
Minute 19, still showing on that third quarter clock.
That's number 40, Iffy Joyner.
So Joyner coming off. I'm going to call that last run by Boyd just a 3-yard gain, so make it 2nd down and 7 from their own 37-yard line for the Antioch Panthers on the road here, coming down Highway 4 to take on the Pirates, trailing here by 11. Handoff, Harris comes to the far side, has to beat one man, and he does. Cross the 40, 45, 50, cuts it back inside, down the sideline, hit and banged out of bounds inside the 40-yard line. Najee Harris has finally broken away. 23 yards and a first down. Jordan Parker pushed him out of bounds, but finally, guys, after quite a while, we saw Najee break loose.
Well, they finally ran to the big side, and that's what you got to do.
Yeah.
They've been running the short side all game. You have this over half the field on that side, and they finally utilized it.
And why let the defense use the sideline as an extra defender? Tanner trying to break a tackle, and he can't. He's going to pick up just about a yard on the play. And a good-looking tackle, trying to see who made that. Tanner, a short gain. It'll bring up 2nd down and 9. Charlie Ramirez, among others, there defensively for Pittsburgh.
It's almost like Antioch is using Harris more as a decoy right now and just occasionally use him to run the ball because they've brought everyone into the offensive scheme now.
Boyd lined up in that very funky-looking formation. Najee going to get it, breaks the tackles, trying to skip away. Does skip away, gets inside the 30s. He picks up a first down. So Harris about 9 yards on that gain as he gets down to the 28-yard line. And guys, now he's doing a lot of the things that we've seen him do all year. Getting grabbed, getting hit, breaking through tackles.
But they're still running it toward the short side. I don't get it.
It's amazing, Tony. He has over 150 yards because you wouldn't think that from what we've seen today.
No, you wouldn't. But remember, 53 of them came on one play on that first drive, produced the first touchdown of the game. And it was an 8-0 lead before Pittsburgh stormed back. And here's Newman Najib. He wants to call timeout, and he does.
Timeout called by Antioch.
Let me, while we have a chance, Tony, the Antioch coaching staff, John Lucido, Brett Dudley, Wilson Pica, Chris Henry, Mike Weiscarver, Josh Bula. Juan Corral knows this game. He played for Pittsburgh, and he's over here right now. Scott Adams, Willie Stembridge, Maury Susu, Louis Rocha, who's helped us immensely this year,
Thanks
get
very
games
much
onto
to
TV.
Louis. Absolutely.
And Steve Sanchez, the athletic director over there. You know, Antioch, you look at this game, Tony, we've mentioned all the big numbers. It goes back to 1924. Dave Jackson attended the first Big Little game. He was here.
After the Warren Harding inauguration.
Yes, right around there. 65, 26, and 7. Pittsburgh holds the win-loss record. 96 regular season games, 2 playoffs. In 2014, Pitt won 17-14. This one might go down to the wire as well. They've won 9 straight. Last time Antioch won was in overtime, 27-21 in 2006. And of course, Antioch had that big 11-game winning streak between 69 and 80. I happened to see all of those games.
First down and 10. Harris trying to get away. Can't do it this time. Picks up a yard over the left side.
With the ball.
But again, the Pirate defense able to get him on the ground. Charlie Ramirez making the tackle. It'll bring up second down and 9.
The Charlie Ramirez rooting section is right below us here as we're done now in the third quarter, Tony.
That'll do it for the third quarter. 35-24 in favor of the Pirates. But it's the Panthers on the move. Stay tuned. Come on back. Fourth quarter coming up from Pittsburgh.
Second down, 10 yards to go. Ball to 47.
All right, 12 minutes to go. Fourth quarter time. Second down and 9 from the Pittsburgh 26. Handoff, Harris. Far side of the field. He's got some room. Hurdles a tackler. Harris inside the 10, finally tripped up and dumped inside the 5-yard line. First and goal for Antioch.
That was a spectacular run. That's the Najee Harris we've seen for the past 9 games this year. And last year, you know, this kid's already broken the Antioch single season record. He's broken their career record. He has the career touchdown record, and he's still going to play another year. It's going to be amazing the numbers that Antioch's going to have going forward next year.
They've had problems in this area of the field here today. Harris squirming his way down near the 1-yard line, maybe inside the 1. It'll bring up second down and goal.
Yeah, they've lost 2 fumbles inside the 5-yard line.
There you go. Both on those Wildcat formations, if I'm not mistaken. One on a low snap and one that hit Najee in the shoulder pads. Harris going to get it. And boy, it looks like he got corralled pretty quickly there. And somebody got him around the ankles before he could get in. It's going to bring up third down and goal.
On the play, Charlie Ramirez with a stop.
Charlie Ramirez again, and we've heard that name a lot today.
You know, we've talked about Najee being a patient runner. They're here at the 1. He's stronger and faster than everyone. Wouldn't it be a good idea just to have him bulldoze over everyone or leap over the line? He has like a 40-inch vertical.
I'm waiting for a Walter Payton leap over the line into the end zone. Haven't seen that from him so far this year. Handoff. Harris is running wide this time. Leaps over.
Oh!
Touchdown! No signal yet, but I thought he got in for sure. Touchdown, Antioch!
Oh my gosh.
Why? There's a Pittsburgh coach yelling at the ref. I don't understand why. Well, you can't jump over a guy now.
Well, you can't celebrate and you cannot hurdle defenders.
Well, Najee Harris, he's so beat up right now. He was literally panting, hands on his knees before that play. you know, and when he fell in the end zone, he was on the ground. They had to go pick him up. I mean, they're going to have to watch it now. He's really been banged up today.
Boy, you talk about a team that has been challenged here, guys, that haven't been challenged most of this year. You got to say Antioch has really stepped up to the challenge here today. So Harris not in the game. Handoff. Snap goes to Payne. They hand off, go to the left side. And DeJuan Boyd is going to get the ball, but he is not going to get the two-point conversion. So the 5-point lead holds for the Pirates. But, guys, that was a Najee Harris drive that time, and he really came up big.
That was a superstar drive that time. They're going to probably need another one, Tony. I mean, that extra point would have been nice, but doesn't really matter because Antioch, I can't see them kicking a field goal. They're down 5. They need a touchdown. They need to hold Pittsburgh this next time. Pittsburgh goes on one thing, we haven't had any long drives today. I mean, it's like guys get the ball and 2 or 3 minutes later, they score a touchdown or something. Another crazy thing happens in this game because there has been just endless amounts of nuttiness. Dave needs to add. He actually did already. Dave, you're pretty good at getting the score thing going there. Harris, a 53-yard run, started the scoring. Thompson had a run, and then Thomas. 14-8 in the first quarter, 21-8 on another Thompson run. Payne the interception return, and then right before the half minute, Thompson a 91-yard run. It was 28-14. Antioch got a safety early in the third. Payne then returned a fumble, 24 yards, make it 28-24. Pittsburgh just went down on a pass from Young to Thomas, and now Antioch scores. It's 35-30, and we still have a lot of time to play this one, Tony.
From the 12-yard line, down that far sideline, out across the 30. And let's see where they're going to mark this one.
Gets across the 30.
So about a 20-yard gain on that return, and that'll set up the Pirates first and 10.
Made the stop.
And they lead it 35-30, but this is turning into be one of the more memorable BBAL championship games. It's certainly one of the more memorable big little games that we've had in a long, long time.
Saku Fafidi was down on the sidelines, one of the great linebackers that played here at Pittsburgh.
Oh, yeah.
We actually had a nickname for him, Fafidi on the Rocks. That was Steve Sanchez, our late partner, who came up with that one.
Thompson back in the football game, breaking tackles, and Thompson's going to have himself a first down, close to 15 yards on that run, and looking no worse for wear after being off the field there after that injury.
Yeah, it looks like Montez coming out after that play. Turner back in. No, he's been the MVP of the team, MVP of the game so far. I think they're going to need a minute. They want to keep this lead.
Thompson not on the field for this play. Handoff, I think this is Turner going up the middle, and he's going to pick up good yards. 9, maybe 10 yards for Isaiah Turner. That's going to be enough for a first down, so give them 10, maybe 11, and they are going to move the chains.
2 straight first downs on the runs there. Antioch has been holding them down here in the third quarter, second half now, whereas we're in the fourth quarter on the run, but they just kind of, that time hit the hole fast, and right into their linebacking crew finally made the tackle.
Handoff, Turner caught at the line of scrimmage, and he will be stopped. No gain on the play, or maybe a yard for Isaiah Turner on that play. It'll bring up second down and 9.
On the tackle.
And Finea Foca came up to make that tackle. Jacob Rodriguez, another Panther there on the play. So there will be a 1-yard gain to the 40. Second down and 9 upcoming here for Pittsburgh. Low snap. Dug out. Under some pressure. Looking for him to run and hit in the backfield and sacked. So Christian Young trying to get away, but Kyle Brown got to him before he could do so. And he is going to be sacked to lose just a yard as he was stepping up into the pocket when he was tackled. And now an official's timeout. Another injured player.
That's a Foca who's down on the field who strung that one out, forced Young back inside, and then Brown hammered him for the sack.
Well, we talk a little bit about the D1 playoffs coming up, and of course, all these teams in the D1, we mentioned several of them earlier, Luke, but one of the things you got to look at is eventually, if you go far enough, you're going to run into De La Salle.
Yeah, De La Salle hasn't been defeated by a Northern California team since 1991 in the Oakland Coliseum.
Yuck.
The NCS championship game against
Luke, were you
Pittsburgh.
born then?
No.
It was a little bit before I was born.
Yeah, I was going to say, Luke wasn't even alive. Yeah, Dave and I were there.
I thought he was going to say, I don't know.
It was
that
actually
a long time
2
ago.
weeks before I was born.
Wow.
I'm the curse.
That's amazing.
The curse of Johnson.
If anyone was at that game, that was probably the greatest high school football game ever played in this area.
22 D1 players.
22 Division I players played in that game. Unbelievable.
And
By the way, Tony, just to mention, Thompson now has 227 yards on 19 carries, puts him over 1,400 for the season with 17 touchdowns. Turner 86, so they've rushed for over 300 yards combined, 313 with those two runners today.
Fantastic statistics provided by Dave Jackson. And talk about the De La Salle situation you had to run into. They've really been a nemesis to Pittsburgh. Because so many years, especially during this regime here, been so good, and Dave, and so many times they have to play the best team in the country.
Well, and that has happened. One of the ironic things about that, though, is, you know, a lot of people, because of the name Galley, which is a very prominent name in Pittsburgh, think Vic went here. Vic went to De La Salle.
You're right.
So he's basically been beat up by his
83
his
grad,
alma mater many times.
83 grad, and he was on that first Ladouceur undefeated team back in 1982. He played wide receiver and cornerback for that team. Actually coached with Ladouceur on a couple of different stints at De La Salle. And here's Turner caught in the backfield. Kobe Beltram comes up to make the stick, and they're going to lose 4 yards on the play. So they'll turn the ball over.
This week I talked to Kobe. I said, are you afraid of Pittsburgh's offense? He says, no. We practice against an Alabama commit. We're not afraid of anything.
Well, this is going to set up a 4th down and a punting situation here. So
They've been kicking the ball away from Payne.
Here's Hernandez to kick. Ryan Payne is dropped back deep, and they don't want any part of him. This ball rolls up there, picked up nicely that time by Hernandez. Payne gonna watch this one hit at the 5, and then it's gonna be kicked into the end zone by the Pirates. Oh, a huge break for Antioch. They had that one down inside the 5, and instead it's gonna come out to the 20.
8:21 to go, plenty of time. And this is what Antioch's been looking for, and Pittsburgh's going to have to now be the team that steps up on defense.
Boy, I think that was Isaiah Turner who was in position to pin that one down inside the 5-yard line. Instead, he has it go off his foot, and it's going to come out to the 20. So Antioch really picks up better than 15 yards on that transaction. So they're in much better shape here for this next drive, coming with 8:21 to go here in the 4th quarter. Panthers trail by 5. Kobe Beltram lined up in the fullback position here. They're going to hand off. Inside run that time. Not very much on that game. That was Ryan Payne. And tried that the end around. He forced to cut that one up much sooner than he wanted to.
That play's not working like it did in the first game of the season, Tony, where no one had seen it before. We've all seen it now.
Vasquez made the tackle on that play. He's a superstar shortstop for their baseball team. You know, when that season comes around, he's an early MVP candidate.
Oh, interesting there. Of course, basketball season coming up. Of course, the NBA all fired up and ready to go. The high school basketball will get started shortly as well. We told you about the West Coast Jamboree. Oh, here's Najee breaking loose. There he goes across the 40. Najee going all the way. Touchdown, Antioch. 80 yards for the touchdown, and his slow game has just turned into a huge game for Najee Harris.
Unbelievable. If this game should be sold on video to people, it's incredible. He has 264 yards rushing now, Tony. He only had, 189 at halftime. He's gained over 180 yards in the second half, and that play looked like it was going nowhere. That was all him, kind of tiptoed his way through the line. And I'm telling you right now, he's exhausted. He has been beaten up. He's been running. And now it's absolutely dead quiet on the Pittsburgh side of the field. But they got plenty of time. The way this game's been going, we might see a few more touchdowns.
Here's that Wildcat. Harris going to get it for the 2-point conversion. Slithers his way through. Did he make it? No signal yet. Still no signal. Pittsburgh doesn't think he made it. Antioch says yes, and so do the officials. The 2-point conversion is good. 7:29 to go in the 4th, and this one just gets wilder and wilder. 38-35 in favor of the Panthers.
All I could say, Tony, is I'm glad high school doesn't have replay, because there would have been about 18 challenges so far in this game. The guy with the ball was a Pittsburgh player running over here, and then they came in and said they made it in and didn't have the ball. I don't know what to say. That took Antioch 52 seconds.
Unbelievable.
Let's see what next trick goes up anyone's sleeve here.
Pirates send back number 6, Isaiah Turner, and number 27, Armon McRaven.
All right, so
Kicking
Torres
off by number 84, Abe Torres.
will get set to kick off. And now the Pittsburgh Pirates, they find themselves trailing for the first time since a way back following that first drive of the game. Here's the kick, taken at the 13-yard line, across the 20, across the 25, and then dropped at the 26-yard line. Great looking tackle of Isaiah Turner by Miles Aguilar. So Aguilar comes up to make a beautiful open field tackle, and it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Pirates. Still a lot of time left. The Pirates with their full complement of timeouts, and the Panthers have 2 remaining.
This is a game of attrition right now. We've had lots of injuries. There's been a lot of big-time plays. Guys are tired. Who is the most fit, who's the best prepared is going to win this game now.
3 wide receivers split to the far side this time on that 4 wide receiver spread. Here's Thompson going to get it, trying to get away, picks up a few yards. Montez going to pick up yardage out to about the 29-yard line. Kobe Beltram thinks Antioch has the football. A couple other Panthers say the same thing, but no word from the officials as Kyle Brown made the stop.
And they're saying he was down.
Still be Pirate football.
It looks like number 34, Nick Perry, is back into the game, checking in for the first time since the first quarter.
Yeah, Nick Perry coming back from injury. That's good to see. Back to pass, looks, throws. Ball lofted up there and tipped and knocked away at the last moment. Pass intended for Deshaun Thomas. And it looked like Antoine Turner, number 7, was there to knock it away, but barely. And that looked like that ball had just a little too much air under it as well.
And you got to have ice in your veins to play that position on the defensive side of the ball. And Tanner made a choice right there. He was going for the ball, and he got it. Because if that ball's caught, we got another lead change.
Yes.
No, I think that was in Thomas's hands. He definitely got a hand on it. I don't know if he got both, but wow, that was a crucial play.
Yeah, Christian Young, a little too much air under that ball. Young handles the low snap. Christian back, throws, near side of the field. Tanner's going to knock this one away again. And boy, it looked like Thompson had the ball go in and out of his hands.
Same matchup again. Went against Tanner to Thomas. Definitely got a hand on that that time for Tanner. Knocked it down to the ground.
No, a couple of pass defense on back-to-back plays by Tanner. So making good plays here defensively for Antoine Tanner, and that'll force a punt by Pittsburgh.
You want to hear something funny about Tanner? 2 years ago, I was at an Antioch basketball game. He's a freshman. He comes up to me. He says, "You're going to be writing about me one day." You know,
You might be.
a really gutsy freshman he was.
He made a couple of big plays on that defensive series. That defensive series belonged to Antoine Tanner. Here's Hernandez's punt. This one is going to bounce inside the 40 and going to take a Pittsburgh roll all the way down to the 25-yard line where it stops. Down by the Pirates, 1st and 10.
Antioch's going to attempt to manage the clock in this situation.
6:14 to go. Pittsburgh has 3 timeouts. So almost assuredly here, they are going to get the ball back, talking about the Pirates. So let's see what Antioch can do here on offense.
The biggest key for Antioch right now is ball security.
Yes.
Well, and the
huge.
one thing that happened for Pitt on that play with those 2 incomplete passes, they didn't kill a lot of clock. There's still a lot of clock left.
Pure pandemonium right now.
Listen
It
to
is.
the crowd.
If there was a roof, it'd fall off.
The Pittsburgh side cheering very loudly. The Antioch side doing likewise. 1st and 10 for the Panthers. They operate from their own 25-yard line. They're going to fake it. Ryan Payne around the right end, cuts it back up inside, hit and stop. And Payne's going to lose a yard on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 11. Again, another play strung out very nicely defensively by Pittsburgh. And Dan, they really shut off that defensive left side and forced Payne to go back up the middle. Tariq Wright there defensively.
He was one of the main guys. Payne and Harris are going to be in the hot tub for a while tonight after the game they've been. I mean, that play right there was 5 or 6 Pirates on top of that pile. And this one is being played about as high quality as you can get.
Chant of defense coming up from the Pirate fans. Under pressure is Najee, and he is going to be sacked. Newman Najee trying to get out of the backfield. He cannot. He is sacked by Pittsburgh. Iffy Joyner, I believe number 4 was there. And that's nice to hear because Iffy Joyner went off the field with an injury earlier in the game.
And I didn't want you to have to say he was iffy to return.
Not iffy on that play. 3rd down and 16 after a loss of 7 on that sack. Fake the handoff, back to pass, throws, it's going to be caught right near a first down. And that's Isaac Freitas with the catch, and that is going to be a first down for Antioch.
You talk about a gutty call. Holy moly.
We have not heard from Freitas all game, and he comes up with a huge play and a first down right here. Either that, Dan, or Pittsburgh was going to get the ball back.
And that's another thing about Antioch that people do mention is that they're more than Harris. They do have a great complement of players, and right now we're seeing it.
Najee trapped in the backfield, cuts to his right, breaks a tackle, spins away from a defender. Najee fights for a first down, and he crosses the 45 to the 46. 11 yards on that run, and you talk about the power and the moves right there. It looked like, Dan, they had him the entire time, and he picks up 11.
That's incredible. That's a run right there. Where, you know, once you get out in front of, if you've got speed, Payne's got speed. Some of the guys at Turner's got speed, but to make the moves that he does and have the power and the ability to get to that first down marker, that's why he is going to be a major talent in football going forward for many years.
Najee in that shotgun. Harris going to get it, caught in the backfield this time. He won't get away, and he's going to lose about 5 yards.
You know, with that first down right there, they at least get a minute and a half off the clock if they don't get another first down.
One of the interesting things to remember, of course, in high school football, there is no 2-minute warning. Pittsburgh has 3 timeouts, and they're going to have to start thinking about using them here in a couple of minutes.
Ramirez and McClure on that last stop of Harris. They've got it officially as a 4-yard loss. 2nd down and 14. Clock now inside the 3:35 mark and counting. Harris going to get it. Flags fly, and he's got just a couple of yards. But we'll see about the penalty.
Maybe 2. Flag on the play.
So where that flag came in, usually that's going to be a holding call against the offense, but we'll see.
And it is.
And it is holding against the offense.
Do you take it, though? It'll be.
Oh, that is an interesting call here, Danny.
It would be 3rd down.
It's going to be 3rd down and long, and you make it
2nd
down and much longer, and they're going to make it 2nd down and much longer as they're going to count off 10 more. So this will make it 2nd down and about 24 yards to go as the Panthers have to get this ball inside the 45-yard line down to the 44-yard line of Pittsburgh. So for Antioch, they operate from about their own 33-yard line, but 2nd down and a long way to go here. Clock started now with 3:13 to go and counting. Najee barking out the signals, has it. Hands off to Ryan Payne, right side. Payne's got some yards, crosses the 40, gets to about the 42-yard line. So about 9 yards on the play for Ryan Payne, but it will still set up a 3rd down and long here. Call it 3rd down and about 13.
Pittsburgh's been involved in a couple of games this year, Tony. They lost the game to Monte Vista when Monte Vista scored late. They got the ball back and couldn't put it in. They won the Freedom game when they got a break late and scored a late touchdown. Right now, this is a huge play. Antioch's letting the clock run down.
You know, for Antioch, you want to take as much time off this clock as you possibly can. If they could turn this into a first down, they would really start forcing Pittsburgh to use their timeouts on offense. Najee back, throws, he's got a man. Tanner's wide open, he's got it at the 30. Tanner inside the 20 being chased, tackled inside the 10 down to the 9-yard line.
Absolutely spectacular play, and that's the first time today he's lofted one of those up and hit a receiver. And Tanner ran under it. And, you know, you talked about Harris, you talk about Payne, but Tanner here in the fourth quarter has really stepped up with 2 great defensive plays, and now that catch that might win the game and a championship and an undefeated season for the Antioch Panthers.
Yeah, Tanner wasn't lying 2 years ago, 14-year-old boy. Came up to me, a grown man.
He is officially in the column. .208 and counting. First down and goal for Antioch. Harris bounces to the right side. He's got room inside the 5. Najee into the end zone. Touchdown, Antioch.
Najee Harris carries it in on a 9-yard run.
9 yards for Harris. Neil Sahota needs to be given some credit. He ran him in. He was out in front of him on that block. And I'll tell you what, Antioch, they couldn't have had a better plan for the second half. It's all come together for him.
Hey, Sahota in this game replacing Sir Forbes. Sir Forbes still playing on defense, recovering from an ankle injury. But you just mentioned it, that blocker coming in to start today in replacement of Forbes.
So after a tough start following the big play, 284 yards now for Najee Harris as they go for the 2-point conversion, leading by 9. Drops it. Hit and stop. That has not been a good-looking play for the Antioch Panthers. They were making that so often earlier in the season, and it looked like a gimme. Has not been there today, but all of a sudden, guys, Antioch in great position to win this. They lead it. It's a 2-possession game, just 2 minutes to go.
But as I've pointed out, many people have, this game is not over until it hits zeros. Well, Tony, the Pittsburgh side is emptying out after, and give them credit, they supplied great support for their team today. They came out in waves. And this is a hard game to explain because when you really look at it, Pittsburgh played a great game. Pittsburgh definitely played with Antioch. A lot of people were saying Antioch can win by 3 touchdowns. They got this game. I never thought that. I thought this would be a 1-touchdown game, and it's been very close. And who knows, this game isn't over yet. Don't think this game is over.
Well, we've seen Pittsburgh come up with big plays. However, Dan, they're going to need to make a big play, and they're going to need to get an onside kick to have a shot here. Torres' kick bounces at the 15, taken by the Pirates. They'll get only to about the 28-yard line. Isaiah Turner on the return. And here comes the Pittsburgh offense, but right now the Pirates really in the suit, Dan. They need pretty much a miracle finish here, but as you said, they do have time and they do have big play ability.
They also have 3 timeouts left. Young's going to have to look down the field here. This is a guy that's thrown with today's stats over 2,200 yards this season. He's going to have to come up with some big plays. 4 wide receivers. Maybe Parker gets involved in the offense here on this drive.
Young back, throws over the middle, in and out of the hands of the intended receiver. DeJuan Boyd there defensively providing blanket coverage and giving us the incomplete signal. Emphatically giving us that incomplete signal. And Grisby the intended receiver, but Boyd was really all over him that time.
Ball still at the 28.
Second down and 10, and you can see the Antioch Panthers dropping a couple of safeties deeper back. And even the cornerback Boyd playing well off the receiver that he is guarding. He's guarding A.J. Boyd.
Boyd versus Boyd, no relation.
The Boyd brothers, yeah, no relation. Here's a snap. Young rolls to his right, under some pressure. Christian throws, he's got a man. Complete at the 40. Beltram comes up to make the tackle. And on the play is Grisby making the catch. He'll pick up about 15 yards and a first down, but really, Dan, Antioch doesn't mind that all too much. They would like to keep that clock running. It stops momentarily here while they move the chains. Now they'll restart. Under 1:40 to go. Antioch leading by 9. Here's Boyd coming on a blitz. Young throws in and out of the hands of the intended receiver. A little bit high that time. And I believe that was Grisby again, near first down territory, could not make the ground.
And I was watching Boyd on that rush, and he could have made a big mistake there by hitting the quarterback hard late, but he actually just gave him a little push, and there was no penalty flag on that play. Smart play.
Talk about a smart team. Pittsburgh, their team GPA for the varsity, Dan, 295. Second down and 10. Another low snap. Young digs it out. Fires for the near side. Got a man, and is that going to be caught?
Whoa.
Yes, it is. Inside the 40. That will be good, and that is Grisby again. And all of a sudden, Grisby has become Young's favorite receiver. Minute 22 still showing on the clock. And here comes Pittsburgh marching down the field.
Yeah, Grisby made a great catch. That was a great throw right to the sideline. Also got the
Sorry, we have DeJuan Boyd down on the play. We saw he slid into the metal fence right here.
Ouch.
Oh, wow. No, there have been, you couldn't ask for anything more in a football game. I mean, you're talking 800 yards or more total offense. You're talking 79 points. Guys have been hurt. Guys are playing hurt. This has been incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Fantastic football game. You mentioned the Monte Vista game that Pittsburgh played earlier in the year, and I believe that one ended at 49-42, if I'm not mistaken. Fantastic game where Monte Vista took the lead late in that ball game, and Pittsburgh started to march down the field very late in that game and came up just a few yards short of having a chance to tie or even win that game.
Ball at the 38.
Pirates at their own 38, 1st and 10. Grisby able to get out of bounds on that last play, stopping the clock at a minute 22. Another low snap. Young back, under pressure, throws, got a man at the 30-yard line. Ball is caught inside the 30. And Christian Young has another completion.
It was grabbed by number 83, Jeremy Lewis.
And that's Jeremy Lewis, number 83, making his first grab. And an injured Pirate on the play. Clock stopped with a minute and 13 to go.
Young is shaken up
He
on
got
the play.
hammered on a blitz right before he threw right in the stomach.
Boy, Christian Young, the quarterback, hurt on the play.
A reminder, please exit by the stadium gates on your side of the
Quickly,
field.
we see a quarterback
Please do not go on to the all-weather
warming
track
up
and
here
field.
for Pittsburgh.
Please exit by the gates
Yeah, that's
on
the
your
backup.
side of the field. Do not cross the field,
And
please.
that's Siu Kuka, I believe, number 18, warming up on the sideline here. So it looks like he will have to come in for at least one play.
One play.
And Young is still not gotten up, so he looks like he's hurt pretty seriously. And Kuka gonna get a chance here.
I'm sure he's
trailing
played a
by
few
9.
downs this year with some of the bigger scores that they've faced, but Young will probably come out for one play. This will be an interesting call. What do you do here on this one play? It's not like you can
You don't really
waste
wanna
a lot of
throw it,
time,
right?
or run a play. Then you have to call a timeout.
Kuka warming up very quickly here. Now he's ready to go, and he comes into the football game, and what a spot to come into. How about that, huh? He's going to line up in the
First down,
shotgun.
10 yards to go for the Pirates. Ball at the 27.
Low snap, drops it, picks it up. Kuka looking, fires for the end zone. Caught, touchdown, Pittsburgh!
Tony, you need a screenwriter to write this stuff.
Deshaun
How in the world
Thomas.
does this even happen?
From quarterback,
My God, Thomas makes an incredible catch on an amazing throw after the first snap is fumbled. And you got a minute left, 41 for Pitt now, 44-41 Antioch. They're going to go for the extra point here. It's going to make it a 2-point game. And you still got this onside kick craziness, and we've seen that
Christian Young to hold.
blow up in a lot of guys' faces. 3 timeouts. This is absolutely incredible.
Hernandez. Out of the hold of Christian Young. Snap, hold, kick is good. A minute and 1 to go. A 44-42 game. And Dan, you said it. This game is not over yet.
I said it was never over. I told you, look, I'm not the brightest football mind, okay? They hire me because I like to talk. But let me just tell you what I said last week. What did I say? Don't think this game's going to be a blowout. It's the big little game. It could go right down to the end. Everyone said 3 touchdowns. I said it's a touchdown game, and right now it's a 2-point game. And you could not, can you imagine, it only cost $8 to get into this.
Talk about your entertainment value.
Entertainment value when you
Unbelievable.
compare it to what it costs to see other football teams in this area
Or
play.
as we were talking a couple of weeks ago, what it's like to see like high profile entertainment.
$200, $8 for this? Are you kidding me? This is going to go down as one of the greatest Big Little games ever, and it's not over yet.
And I'm just so glad we could be on hand to call it for you. Anthony Schultz, Luke Johnson, Dan Wall, National Prep Stars, and Delta TV. And we have had a great 2015 Big Little game. And remember, folks, this is for the BDAL Championship. We're going to get the onside kick here. Now they throw the flag. And interesting here, Dan, if you elect not to, you don't necessarily have to go with the onside kick here if you're Pittsburgh.
Not really. You're right. But they just did something. They just got caught for illegal procedure on this kick, which pushes it back 5 yards, which isn't a dagger or nothing, but it does. Antioch,
It still only has to go 10
they
yards.
still have to go. You still got a minute to go, but the way this game's going, who knows? You could bring John Madden into this. He wouldn't know what to expect happening next.
Boom! Wow!
He would say that though.
And then he would say, Brett Favre. All right, Hernandez to kick off. It's at the onside kick. Yes, it is. Hopping up here, Beltran. I think it was touched before it went 10 yards. Let's see. And it did not go 10 yards. Kobe Beltram recognized that immediately.
We were hoping that they did.
The Pirates still have 3 timeouts.
The kick had to go
According
10
to the
yards.
scoreboard.
It didn't go 10 yards.
So Antioch going to get this football inside the 45 to the 44-yard line of Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's going to have to use their timeouts here on defense, so illegal touching will be the call.
That's a good
against the
call.
Pirates.
It's very clear where he caught that ball. It was right there.
Antioch
If he'd have
ball
let it go
first
one
and
more
10.
yard, though, we would have had chaos. And now Antioch still needs one first down to win this game.
Here comes the Antioch offense. So talk about the amazing storylines in this game. Freitas trying to get off the field. He does. Handoff Harris. Up the middle, couple of yards for Najee. Timeout stops the clock with 57 to go.
Pittsburgh.
Well, Tony, we talked earlier about what would happen if Pitt won, because they were looking like they might win this game when it's 28-14 coming back into the third quarter. So now we have to talk about if Antioch wins, what will happen with the seedings. Because this is a close game, your decision now has to be Monte Vista beat Pitt, Antioch beat Pitt. Do you go strictly on the fact that one team won by 7 points and one team won by perhaps 2 points? Or do you say, I have a feeling Monte Vista's reputation and their past, because they have been there for so long, will probably get them 3. And Antioch will be 4. And Pitt will be 5. Then you start talking about the Californias and Freedoms and people like that down the line. But I have a feeling right now you're looking at 1 De La Salle, 2 Foothill, 3 Monte Vista, 4 Antioch. Which if you have 12, 13 teams, Antioch will get a bye next week, and then they'll get a home game the following week, which would be very interesting. But once again, this game's not over yet, Tony.
Ball to 44.
57 seconds to go. Ball at the Pittsburgh 44-yard line. Ball security of the utmost importance here for Antioch. A first down would put the game away. Harris has it, short side of the field again. Tries not to go out of bounds and does it. Smart play by Najee Harris.
Fails to get to the
You know, that
line of
obviously wasn't a
scrimmage.
great play in any way, but just the fact that he did not go out of bounds when he was so close to doing so, that's a smart play.
I think he did go out of bounds. They're stopping the clock.
Well,
Timeout Pitt.
but also Vic's over on the sideline right now. He's telling that ref the minute the tackle's made, I want a timeout. He's telling him they did it the first time.
Okay.
Let's see on the clock.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right.
Pitts has 1 timeout left. So this is that play. This is where professional coaches make their salaries. What do you do on this play? 3rd and long. If you throw it and it's incomplete or intercepted, you're really at a world of hurt. I would have to say Antioch probably here is going to give the ball to Harris. They're going to hope for the best. If they don't get it, they're going to kick it and make Pittsburgh go at least 80 yards, or more, with no timeouts left. But Pittsburgh can actually kick field goals, which is something that we haven't seen a lot in our high school coverage this year.
The problem is Hernandez, who had been pretty good earlier, when I talked to Coach Galley earlier in the week, he said, lately he hasn't been so good, so I'm not really sure what I would do in that clutch situation.
I think
All
you
right.
got to run Najee to the far sideline and let him get outside on this
Third
play.
down, 11 yards to go.
Najee hands to Harris, trying to get outside, and he's hit and stopped, lunges forward, but now the clock will be stopped with 42.4 to go. That will be the last timeout for Pittsburgh, but they are going to get the football back. And with all the craziness that we've seen, guys, all the weird turnovers, all the long runs, anything can happen here in the last 42.4.
And someone's hurt on the field.
Cross the field.
That's actually Najee.
So Harris shaken up on the play, being attended to by the Antioch trainers.
And that's something no Antioch fan or coach or player has wanted to see this
Nor
year.
Alabama.
Yeah, well, they still got a few years. He's up. He's all right. I think he just got a little tweak. So Antioch's going to have to – and just think of all the things that can still go wrong here. The snap on the punt, and we've seen some
block
bad
punt.
– a block punt. If I was Pitt, I'd sell out on the block right now. I really
too.
would. Because the Antioch line has got to be tired. Got to be tired. And also, I'd have a guy back, though. I'd have one guy back. I'd have Turner back. They're sending back, actually, T.J. Roberts.
Fourth down, 9 yards to go. Punter Abe Torres goes in.
So Torres is in the ball game to punt.
That's actually Perry, I think.
And it is going to be Perry,
It's
number
Nick Perry.
34, Nick Perry. Very short set for Nick. Gets the ball away quickly, and this one is going to go into the end zone for the touchback. And Pittsburgh, with 37.4 to go, will have the ball at the 20-yard line. And let's see whether or not Christian Young comes out. He did come out.
Do they have a third-string quarterback?
On the snap,
I'd put him in for this one.
and it is going to be Christian
It's Christian Young.
And here goes that crowd.
Christian Young back in at quarterback.
The safeties drop deep. Young back, throws, sideline, caught at the 20, at the 30-yard line, trying to sneak away is the receiver.
Pass is complete.
That will be a first down, stopping the clock while they move the chains. Pittsburgh hurries up, gets into formation.
And this is always the interesting thing right here, Tony. Can a high school quarterback work the sideline? You got to have a different kind of arm to work the sideline, get guys out of bounds consistently. You saw that when Parker was a good 5 yards inside the out of bounds markers. He had to come back to the ball. Will this continue? We had another injury. I mean, man. Can you ever remember a game with this many injured players?
You know, I'm thinking of the body bag game between the Eagles and the Redskins.
The body bag.
If you remember that one.
Wow, this is crazy. Virtually, it seems like every other play there's been an injured player.
All right, Christian Young back onto the field. Clock still showing 29.5 to go here for Pittsburgh. And they operate just outside their 30-yard line to about the 33. First down and 10 for the Pirates. Still an injury timeout as they attend to that injured Pirate player.
It's Parker.
And it's
So here in
Jordan Parker. That's the second time, I believe, he's been down with injury.
He was hurt injured. So that Jordan Parker and, that's the two marquee players in the game, injured in two out of the last three plays.
So Parker's up, and he'll run off the field. And sometimes in this situation, you wonder if the Pirates keep falling. Now, people are getting injured. It's football. But now is one of those times where you might tend to want to be injured a little bit, or at least let everybody think you're injured a little bit to stop that clock. First and 10 for the Pirates. Their own 33-yard line.
Trainers taking their time to get off the field.
Now they run the clock. There's a snap. Young back, looks. Over the middle, he's got a man, it's incomplete. Did not turn around in time. It looked like Xavier Jackson, number 5, was wide open. but he did not turn around in time, or that would have been a big play as well.
Well, you saw how deep Beltram was on that play. So Beltram was running back almost into that prevent. You know what they say about the prevent defense? It prevents you from
winning.
Thank you, Tony. I think the Rams have used it for most of the last 10 years. That is going to have to be something they watch right here, because Pittsburgh has a lot of guys that can catch the ball.
Safety's very deep. Young back, looks, throws, he's got a man, and caught. Boyd is going to keep him from going out of bounds. Good play by Boyd on the tackle on Grisby. Antioch, 8 seconds. Pittsburgh lined up, one more play, they kill it. With 6.4 to go to give them at least one more play. Now remember, they have to line up correctly before they do that, or that will be a 10-second runoff with a penalty. You cannot have a penalty inside of 2 minutes when you don't line up correctly, or they will just run out the clock.
And after last week's Miami-Duke game, until it says 0, Tony, the way crazy things have been happening out here, we'll see. Look at Antioch's prevent defense. They're down on the 25-yard line.
Antioch way deep. The linebackers drop deep. Last play of the game. Here's Young back to pass. Under pressure, steps up, throws over the middle. It's incomplete. No time left. And the Antioch Panthers are the 2015 BVAL champions as they win the Big Little game here in 2015. A final score, 44-42.
Payne, get back on your sideline there. There you go. Don't ruin this for everyone. Pittsburgh played a great game. Absolutely fantastic game. But Antioch is 10-0. The last time Antioch was 10-0, our good friend Ferris Anthony played back in 1977. That was the class of 78, right after I graduated from Antioch. And now we're going to see Antioch get a nice playoff berth, but Pittsburgh will be in the playoffs as well. They finish 8-2. Their losses will be to two teams above them in that seeding. It's not like they were embarrassing games to lose to. Losing to Monte Vista and Antioch this year, that is not something that's going to follow them around as anything bad. It just goes to show how great a team it was. That was a great coach game, great played game, probably one of the craziest, nuttiest games I've ever done with you, Tony.
Boy, and I got to say, with all our big stars in this ball game, Najee Harris, of course, Montez Thompson, Ryan Payne stands out as the player of the game with those 2 defensive touchdowns and those 2 big takeaways that he got, the interception return for a touchdown, and also, Dan, the touchdown when he just ripped the ball from a Pittsburgh ball carrier, Montez Thompson, and ran that one in for a touchdown. That was absolutely incredible.
Absolutely, and we see Antoine Tanner, their number 7, going off, who made some big plays and a huge catch to get Antioch down close to that final score. But what a game, 44-42. Is it the highest scoring game ever, Luke? Luke's not, you don't have the big, all 97 games in front of you?
Not in front of me. I can get it in front of me in about a minute, but, I just want to say one thing. I was the only journalist to say Antioch would win league before the season started. All the other publications,
and you know what that gets you?
All of them, what?
Not one coffee at Starbucks.
Not one.
Pat on the back.
But you can feel good about yourself.
Good old-fashioned attaboy.
And maybe some respect from some people.
We certainly have that now for you.
I'm 2 for 2. Last year, I predicted Pitt. Everyone did. But in this year, Antioch. 31 years in the making. First time they've been undefeated since 77.
Unbelievable.
Antioch can go crazy right now. The drought is over.
The drought is, the football drought. We still have the water drought to deal with. Well, Tony, that's been a great year, bro. I tell you.
Well, some very good games, Dan. We've been in position sometimes where we struggle to get a good game, but we certainly had some this year, and we had one in the biggest game of the year, and coming up to these last several weeks, no more anticipated game than the 2015 Big Little game, and of course it comes down for the BVAL championship, and these 2 teams did not disappoint. Dan, we talked about earlier, what was it going to be like when Antioch came under pressure, when they were under fire, when they were facing a really good team and there was some adversity? Dan, they answered that with flying colors here today.
And it was the big players, Tony. It was Harris finally breaking loose and getting that close to 300 yards on the ground. It was Payne, who's a tremendous talent. Even though he might not be the guy that the focus. You saw last week when he had to run the ball, he ran for over 150 yards. Today, they needed that play. If it wasn't for his interception, I don't think we'd be having this talk right now. I think
so
Pittsburgh would have walked away with this game. That game put Antioch, it gave them some hope, and they came back from that in the second.